Chapter 4403. Had the Jade Lake's sacred ground made a move? However, it was only an illusion. It didn't really walk out, and after one attack, it disappeared into the void. The surrounding Saint Kings were also horrified. Desolation was an extreme weapon, an existence that could suppress everything. If it really exploded, they wouldn't be able to resist at all. But fortunately, the other party only attacked once and didn't attack again. One attack was enough. Saint King Kunlun walked out with a cold smile. The previous attack had already seriously injured Saint King's spirit word. Saint King Vast Si and Saint King Bienue also walked out. They all stared at Saint King's spirit word. Saint King's spirit word's expression was extremely ugly. He was first seriously injured, and now he was targeted by 3 Saint Kings. Even if he was very strong before, he was probably very dangerous now. He gritted his teeth and roared, "You people dare to plot against me? You really don't know what's good for you." Saint King Vast Si snorted coldly. "Plot against you? What a joke. When we were at the immemorial grotto sacred assembly, we were all cursed. Then we were also poisoned by the supreme Saint Corpse poison. Didn't you plot against us at that time? What right do you have to talk about us?" Saint King Bienue also snorted coldly. "What do you want to say? Didn't you say that it was you who did it? If you really have nothing to do with the human world, then retreat now. We only target the ghost god Saint Kings who are related to the human world. If you don't retreat, then you're in cahoots. What nonsense! You want to target the immemorial grotto? The immemorial grotto has never been afraid of anyone." At this time, Saint King's spirit word didn't admit that he had anything to do with the human world. After all, the human world was very terrifying. They would attack the various sacred grounds once every tens of thousands of years, causing a sea of blood to surge into the sky. Countless people were terrified. Every time, the various sacred grounds would join forces to attack and quell such an existence. He wouldn't take the initiative to admit it, but at this time, a voice sounded between heaven and earth. "Is that so? Then your grandson is alive again. How do you explain that?" Saint King's spirit word's pupils constricted when he heard this. He suddenly looked up. In the next moment, he saw a young person fall from the sky. It was his grandson, Shiryunhu. When the Kunlun Sage King and the others saw this, their faces darkened. This was because they had seen with their own eyes that this young man had been killed by the people of the mortal world. However, at that moment, he had come back to life. This was the same situation as Sacred King Desolate Heaven. "Old thing, are you still saying that you have nothing to do with the human world? Then why is your grandson alive?" Unparalleled Divine King coldly snorted. "Damn it, who was it that actually discovered the secret? Didn't he ask her grandson to hide properly?" He looked up. In the next moment, his expression turned extremely cold. This was because he discovered that the person who had attacked was actually Scholar Immortal. Damn it, the divine Tao gates people really came. In the sky, the deity Tao Union's undying scholar said coldly, "Immemorial Grotto, you are indeed in cahoots with the mortal world. Since that's the case, I'll eliminate all of you today." It seemed like this time, divine Tao Gate was truly angered, wishing to get rid of World of Man, as well as those related to Time of Man. The surrounding people of the quintessential world also exclaimed in surprise. Immemorial Grotto was actually in cahoots with World of Man. This was really too unbelievable. Not only did World of Man make a move on the second astral realm, but it was also extremely terrifying in the quintessential world. It was the legendary Sacred Killing Hall. Now, such a person had appeared again. This was really shocking to the great World of Man. Furthermore, what shocked them even more was that the sacred cities of the second astral realm were going to be completely eliminated. World of Man, damn it, Sacred King Spirit Yan's expression turned cold. Since he had been discovered, he no longer hid it. He said coldly, "That's right, I am indeed in cahoots with World of Man." "So what? However, You guessed wrong. Not only am I in cahoots with World of Man, but I am also a member of World of Man. When these words came out, even Sacred King Peerless and the others were stunned. The other party was a member of World of Man. Damn it. It seemed like everything that had happened before had been planned by the other party. Originally, I wanted to let you live a little longer, but since you want to court death, I'll fulfill your wish. Sacred King Spirit Yen shouted coldly. Then he said, "Get ready to attack. Leave no one alive." After he finished speaking, the surrounding sky started to shatter. Sacred King Silver Corpse, Sacred King Divine Ghost, and Sacred King Flying Sky also walked out. Extremely cold auras emanated from their bodies. At the same time, there were many masked black-robed men around them. Their powers were equally terrifying. These were all Sacred Kings. Akron Hall, Great Desolation Mansion, Myriad Sword Pavilion. You are all involved. Even the Myriad Demon City is involved. Very well. Scholar Immortal also emanated a terrifying aura. Not only you, but the sacred cities that you are in also need not exist. Hearing this, the Sacred King's pupils shrank. Although they already knew that this would be the outcome, they still felt their scalps go numb upon hearing those words. It seemed like they could only join forces with World of Man. Otherwise, they would have no way of surviving. The people of Thunder God City also felt their scalps tingle. They did not expect that their previous friends were actually from World of Man. This scared them out of their wits. They hurriedly said, "This has nothing to do with us. We don't know." Scholar Immortal glanced at these people and said, "Thunder God City indeed has nothing to do with this. However, you all helped the evildoers. Now that the Sacred Kings have been killed, you all deserve it. So, quickly leave this place." The people of Thunder God City turned pale and quickly retreated. Actually, it was not only them. Everyone in the surroundings was retreating. This was because more and more Sacred Kings had appeared. Countless terrifying auras had gathered. Those below the Sacred King realm could not withstand it. Lin Xian Linghuchue Shue and the others also quickly retreated. A vortex appeared on their bodies as they quickly flew into the distance. The geniuses of the other sacred cities did the same. Guan Songhai of Azure Ocean Palace, Qin Sieno of Acacia Palace, Kunlun Pavilion, and Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion did the same. They all quickly retreated. This was because they had already discussed this beforehand. Peerless Sacred King and the other Sacred Kings would join forces with the deity Tao Union and start a decisive battle with World of Man. Then, these young disciples would pass through the seal and head to the buried Emperor Star. This way, even if the deity Tao Union and the others failed, World of Man would not be able to threaten them. Soon, Morong Qingcheng, Shunjingqiu, and the others gathered. Even the Crimson Dragon, the Toad, and the Northern Devil had all come. Although these people had not been to the primordial battlefield before, they had all been there. However, Lin Xian had more than one Sacred King's will in his hands. Naturally, he could give it to these people and allow them to pass through. Chapter 4404. Lin Xian sighed in his heart. Were they finally going to reach the buried Emperor's Star? That was the place where countless great emperors were buried. There were countless secrets, and even secrets to becoming an immortal. It was also the end of the ancient starry sky path. Lin Xian wondered what kind of world it was. His eyes were filled with boundless hope and curiosity. Their goal this time was to go to the Reincarnation Valley. They had to find the Reincarnation Protector first. This should be the place, right? Guan Songhai looked around, and then looked at the valley. "Let's go." These young geniuses quickly descended. Their greetings became incomparably respectful. After all, the Reincarnation Protector was someone that even their sage kings had to treat with respect. "Junior requests an audience, Reincarnation Protector," Guan Songhai said in a clear voice. His voice could be heard clearly. Everyone waited patiently, but there was no response. Guan Songhai called out respectfully once again. At this moment, a voice rang out between heaven and earth. You don't have the qualifications to see me. Get your sage kings to come. Also, those below sage kings don't come here. This time, I will let you live. If you dare to come here again, your souls will be destroyed. Scram! A terrifying voice rushed over, and then it surged towards them from all directions. Everyone felt their pupils constrict. It was as if their bodies were about to be crushed by 100,000 mountains. Even Lin Xian's face had turned incomparably pale. Too strong. This reincarnation protector was probably even more terrifying than Sage King. Yan Ling, was he a Sage King? Or had he already surpassed the Sage King realm? However, why did they attack him? He roared. This power made it very difficult for him to open the Great Sage Tower. These people were in despair. Were they going to die? It had not been easy for them to reach this point. However, they were unable to resist this voice at all. These people's eyes were filled with despair. At this moment, a light flashed. Boundless black aura condensed and enveloped them. Then they completely disappeared. In the blink of an eye, everyone discovered that they had already left the reincarnation valley and were outside. They did not know how many million miles they were away. Were they saved? These people all heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian was also surprised. Originally, he wanted to use the Great Sage Tower to bring everyone in. But before he could do anything, someone had attacked them. Who was it? To be able to bring them away so easily, it was definitely a Sage King. The other people also turned their heads to look. In the next moment, they saw a black-robed person standing behind them. "Thank you, Senior," they said gratefully. The dark red dragon also had a look of lingering fear on its face. The toad said, "Damn it, that guy is too arrogant. He obviously wants to kill us." However, after Heishan heard this, he sneered. "Eccentric?" Black Mountain said that he had been invited to the primordial grotto. His relationship with Sage King Yanling was not ordinary. If Sage King Yanling was from the mortal world, then what about him? When these words came out, everyone's scalps went numb. Lin Xian also said, "Is he also from the mortal world?" Black Mountain shook his head. Obviously, he knew more. He said, "He's not. I'm guessing that he's from the buried Emperor's Star." "Is he from the buried Emperor's Star?" Lin Xian was surprised. No wonder. This explained why the other party was so powerful, and why these Sage Kings were so respectful when they saw him. Also, during the Primordial Grotto's banquet, Han Chong and the others stayed by his side. Because these people originally came from the buried Emperor's Star, Black Mountain said that although he came from the buried Emperor's Star, he was responsible for guarding the Reincarnation Valley. He had stayed here for thousands of years. Therefore, his relationship with Sage King Yanling was definitely not ordinary. Even if he wasn't from the mortal world, perhaps this time he would still stand on the side of the mortal world. Hearing this, the expressions of Lin Xian and the others became unsightly. If that was really the case, then they would be in danger. If that was the case, wouldn't they be unable to enter the buried Emperor's Star? Black Mountain said that there was still a chance. As long as they could win this battle, it would be fine. You guys stay here for now. I'll go take a look at the situation. If necessary, I'll also take action. Black Mountain's eyes flashed with a cold light. Lin Xian said, "Take us with you. We want to watch the battle from afar." "All right, I can only take you a short distance. However, you guys can watch the battle through the formation. With so many Sage Kings fighting, kid, even if you have a trump card, it will be very difficult to resist." Next, Black Mountain brought these people to the eastern wasteland. Then he soared into the sky. Because the Sage Kings were fighting, they had already arrived in the starry sky. Black Mountain set up a formation so that Lin Xian and the others could see the situation in the starry sky. At this moment, the situation of the battle was really terrifying. The entire starry sky had been completely destroyed. Countless large cracks spread out, and the surrounding stars were shattered. Some were directly turned into dust. This was simply too shocking. One had to know that they were all top geniuses. They could sweep through everything in the sacred venerables. However, compared to the sage kings, they were still too weak. The methods of these sage kings terrified them. Peerless Sage King fought Sage King God Ghost. Both of them used sword techniques. It was very terrifying. The peerless sword swept across the sky, majestic, and the firmament sword was even sharper. When it stood up, it was very terrifying. However, Peerless Sage King seemed to be stronger, and the law of devouring was even more terrifying. In the end, he devoured the firmament sword. Then, he slashed at Sage King God Ghost. Sage King God Ghost was instantly split in half. He was severely injured. He roared to the sky and broke through the void, wanting to escape. Peerless Sage King snorted coldly. You want to escape? He also shattered the spatial passage with a sword and stopped the other party. Then he charged forward again. Peerless Sage King was Lord Alcohol's disciple, and he had also received the law of devouring. His strength was very terrifying. Therefore, no matter how strong Sage King God Ghost was, he was still defeated in the end and was severely injured. Seeing that he couldn't escape, he roared angrily, Wushuang, do you think you can win against me? Even if I die, I will drag you to hell. The 10,000 ancestral swords on his body were even more terrifying. Sword Chi soared into the sky, and the illusion of the world surrounded him. This aura shocked everyone. The Sage Kings in the starry sky were all terrified. They knew that Sage King God Ghost was going to go all out. Below, the creatures on the eastern wasteland were trembling and kneeling on the ground. This aura was like a god fighting a group of people. Chapter 44:05. Do you want to risk your life? Wu Shuang, Holy King, roared in anger. His eyes were shining brightly. Then, the law of devour on his body kept flashing, forming a black rune that merged with Peerless Sword. He slashed out with his sword. Everything was over. This sword strike shocked everyone. No one could block the terrifying power. After the sword, divine Ghost Sage King completely disappeared, turning into a bloody mist. Everyone was stunned. A Sage King had fallen just like that. Lin Xian and the others felt their blood boil as they clenched their fists. As for the Sage Kings who were fighting in the extraterritorial battle, their hearts were heavy. Deity Dao Union's side was naturally happy, but the mortal world side was cold. Divine Ghost Sage King was an extremely terrifying Sage King. Now he had fallen to such a state. Peerless Sage King stood there, looking disdainfully. He said coldly, Divine Ghost Sage King has fallen. We will find the 10,000 Swords Pavilion and destroy it completely. From now on, the 10,000 Swords Pavilion will be removed from the myriad worlds. An ice-cold voice resounded through the air. On the other side, Kunlun Sage King also killed a mortal world sage killer. The bloody mist filled the sky. Once again, another Sage King had fallen. Black Mountain also walked out. He stared at Soaring Sage King and said coldly, Since you are also a heavenly beast, I will give you a quick death. Surrender. Damn it, you think you can defeat me? Soaring Sage King roared. He was a Sage King. How could he be defeated without a fight? Therefore, he roared and turned into his true form. He held 2 swords in his hands and quickly charged over. The boundless saber light flickered in the starry heavens, and the surrounding stars dimmed. Heaven and earth were shattered. It was as if the starry sky was being destroyed. At this moment, the experts below raised their heads again. Their faces were filled with fear. Countless demonic beasts roared into the sky. Too powerful. However, Black Mountain sneered. You weren't even born when I dominated the world. You dare to fight me? You overestimate yourself." He flipped his palm and formed a black seal. He slammed it down. With a boom, the sword light in the sky was shattered. That black seal was like a millstone. It was pitch black. What weapon was that? However, it was extremely terrifying. As soon as it appeared, it swept through everything. Soaring Sky Saint King was sent flying as he coughed out a mouthful of blood. His face was filled with terror. Was the disparity between them so great? Damn it! Take my flying deity slash! Tens of thousands of blade lights appeared between heaven and earth. Each of them was burning like a peerless, immortal light as they charged towards Black Mountain. On the other hand, Heishan was forming seals with his palms. Countless black rays of light appeared on his body, as if they had turned into tree branches, waving in all directions. These tree branches were incomparably black, like black arrows that directly pierced through everything. The saber light that filled the sky shattered once again. As for the Soaring Sky Saint King, he was pierced through, and thousands of cracks appeared on his body. His face was filled with terror. Demonic beast, you are also a demonic beast. At this moment, he could sense an extremely terrifying demonic beast aura from those black branches. It was even stronger than his own. It was as if a primordial beast was in a deep slumber. Spare my life. We are all variant beasts of heaven and earth. Please spare me this once. The Soaring Sky Saint King was already begging for mercy. I gave you a chance before, but you didn't cherish it. However, I can still give you another chance. It's impossible for you to live. However, I can accept your 1,000-demon city. I will kill all those above the Sage Realm. As for those below the Sage Realm, I can spare their lives and nurture them again. The Soaring Sky Saint King was in despair. If he died, what would he do with the holy city? Therefore, he roared towards the sky. He quickly charged over. The bloodline power and laws in his body were burning. It was obvious that he was going to go all out. However, Black Mountain sneered. The black seal bloomed with light, directly freezing the sky. The Soaring Sky Saint King was also frozen there, unable to move at all. He let out an unwilling roar, but in an instant, tens of thousands of black branches pierced through his body, turning him into a bloody mist. Another Sage King had fallen. Everyone felt their hair stand on end. These Sage Kings were all supreme existences. Usually, they were like gods that they could only look up to. However, at this moment, they were like ants that kept falling. It was as if the end of the world was coming. Countless Sage Kings looked at Black Mountain and nodded slightly. However, in the next moment, he was stunned and looked down. His gaze pierced through everything. Then he frowned. Junior Brother Lin, why are they here? Didn't they go to the Reincarnation Valley? Logically speaking, they should have gone to the buried Emperor's Star by now. However, Black Mountain said that there was a situation there. The Reincarnation Protectors did not meet. It seemed that they did not intend to release the seal. Damn it! The peerless Sage King's expression instantly changed. The Sage Kings beside him also had cold expressions. This guy actually dared to not follow the rules. He actually dared to do so. The Everlasting Sage King also snorted coldly. On the other side, the people of the mortal world sneered. All of you must die. Kill them. These Saint Kings also roared furiously and charged over quickly. Among them, the Sage King Yen Ling roared. He was fighting 3 Sage Kings alone. Although he was suppressed, he was getting more and more courageous. On the other side, the Sage King Silver Corpse was also incomparably terrifying. There was even a mysterious black-clothed Sage King who waved the black flag in his hand. Countless souls within it roared crazily and released terrifying soul attacks. Among them, there was also the Sage King Lei's power. In an instant, the battle broke out once again. Even the peerless Sage King felt the pressure. Every Sage King was in danger of dying at any time. Fortunately, It was not only the second astral realm this time. Many sage cities of the true spirit world also participated in the battle. Therefore, they were able to withstand the attacks. Otherwise, just the great sage corpse poison alone would have been able to sweep through everything. This time, the great sage corpse poison was blocked by the Yaoqi Lake's sage water, resolving the crisis. At this moment, the old sage king of the Great Desolation Mansion was disheveled. He had once again reached his peak state. He had turned into a valiant middle-aged man. At this moment, his eyes were not focused. Suddenly, he saw Lin Xian and the others below. They were actually still here. That was great. If he could capture these youths, they would be able to threaten these sage kings. Thinking of this, he quickly charged down. He turned into a stream of light and instantly tore through the void and arrived below. A terrifying aura swept through everything. The ground below was constantly crumbling. Guan Songhai, Li Hongxiu, and the others instantly felt their bodies stiffen. They could no longer move. Even Lin Xian's pupils shrank. Damn it, I was discovered by the Sage King. Moreover, it was the old Sage King of the Great Desolation Mansion. Chapter 4406. He was a powerful mid-stage Saint Venerable, much more terrifying than ordinary Saint Kings. If he wasn't so old, he would be even more terrifying. If such a person were to attack them, would they be able to defend themselves? However, at this moment, a roar came from afar. It was as if the sky was falling. Then, an aurora rushed over and enveloped the old Saint King. Boom! The old Saint King roared and broke into pieces. He escaped to the outer realm. As for the aurora, it slowly disappeared. Everyone felt as if they were dreaming. Murong Qingqing said that it was the power of the Desolate Tower. Yao Qi used the Desolate Tower again. An extreme weapon? Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Great. They were saved. Qin Xianer said that since there were extreme weapons in the quintessential world, why didn't they use them? Murong Qingcheng had said that the extreme grade weapon was a divine weapon left behind by a great emperor. Its power was too frightening, let alone a saint. Even a Saint King would not be able to activate it. In order to activate an extreme grade weapon, the amount of resources and power required was simply too much. Basically, they wouldn't use them unless the great emperor's family was in danger. Moreover, extreme weapons had been used in the dark battle in the quintessential world. Therefore, it was basically impossible to use extreme weapons now. Of course, it was still possible to use the pressure of an extreme grade weapon to attack. For example, before, everyone was enlightened after hearing this. It seemed that the power of extreme weapons was beyond imagination. Perhaps no one in this world could use them. Lin Xian also knew that in the past, the 10,000 ancient races had already used the power of many extreme weapons. No matter how strong the desolate ancient families were, it wouldn't be so easy to use them again. In the sky, the old Saint King escaped into the distance. However, his body was still burning and turning into a bloody mist. He was too old. Being hit by an extreme weapon was definitely a serious injury. Therefore, at this moment, he had used up the last of his life and turned into dust, no longer existing. Damn it! Fight! Spirit Saint King Yan's eyes were red. Too many of their people had died. In fact, those saint slayers didn't care about anything. Even if they died, they would still attack. This was especially true for Sacred King Yanling, who was even more aggressive and sent the people around him flying. Seeing this, Peerless Sacred King took a deep breath. Black Mountain, on the other hand, said to use the Great Dragon Sword in the final battle. In a situation where an apex weapon couldn't appear, the Great Dragon Sword was probably the only useful thing. Junior brother, Peerless Saint King, looked down. Lin Xian nodded and rose into the air. At the same time, the phantom of the great cathedral appeared beside him, enveloping him like armor. In the next instant, he took out his great dragon sword soul, and a terrifying dragon roar resounded through the 9 heavens. Everyone raised their heads again. Even the people from the 3 dragon tribes were shocked. What kind of power was this? He could probably command a group of dragons. As for Lin Xian, he held the great dragon sword spirit in his hand and said in a clear voice, "Give me all your strength." As they spoke, those Saint Kings also quickly made their moves. As they fought, they unleashed their power. The great dragon sword spirit gathered quite a bit of energy. Then it started to change rapidly. It was as though a divine dragon had been revived. That power was terrifying. Even Lin Xian was shocked. He was under so much pressure that cracks appeared on his divine body. He roared at the sky, and the 9 yang divine body shone with a terrifying light. Lin Xian slashed down with his sword. This slash was aimed at the Silver Corpse Saint King. The Silver Corpse Saint King tried to block it, but he was cut in half. His cracked body roared nonstop, trying to recover. In the end, he found that it was impossible. "Damn it, what's going on?" He screamed in fear. He had encountered many things, but he had never seen such a strange thing. What did Lin Xian use? An apex weapon? How could it be so terrifying? The expressions of the surrounding people changed drastically. Damn it. Immediately, some Saint Kings charged toward Lin Xian. 2 Saint Kings were cut in half by Lin Xian's sword, and they turned into blood mist. Then Lin Xian swept his sword again. Another Saint King shattered, and the power of the great dragon sword spirit disappeared. At this moment, the others were terrified. This was a good opportunity to kill Lin Xian. As for Lin Xian, he hid in the great sage tower, allowing these people to attack him. No matter how strong these Saint Kings were, they could not break the defense of the great sage tower. Then, Peerless Saint King used the law of devour again, absorbing the power of the surrounding Saint Kings and giving it to the great dragon sword spirit. The great dragon sword spirit roared again, sweeping in all directions. Boom, boom, boom. This time, Lin Xian's main target was the Silver Corpse Saint King. It was all because of this despicable guy. The Silver Corpse Sacred Monarch was completely annihilated. Not even a drop of blood was left behind. No. When Saint King Yen saw this, he roared crazily. He had gone crazy. Did the Silver Corpse Saint King die too? Out of all his sons, he was the one with the most potential. He had already become a Saint King, and he would probably surpass him in the future. This was his hope, but now he had died. Damn it, I'll kill you. He quickly charged over. Lin Xian waved the great dragon sword spirit and fought with his opponent. Boom. The 2 collided. The power of the great dragon sword spirit disappeared, and on the other side, one of Saint King Yan's arms was chopped off. He roared crazily in the air. It was obvious that this attack had caused him to be heavily injured. Damn it, what was this thing? The other saint in black had a cold expression. It was the legendary saint technique, the Great Dragon Sword. It seemed that he was the successor of the Great Dragon Sword. Damn it, let's go. I won't be able to kill them this time. With that, the black flag swept in all directions, wanting to leave. However, Saint King Yen was not willing to give up. I don't believe it. He waved his hand and took out an ancient stone. Primordial stone. The people in the human world exclaimed, "Are you crazy?" However, Saint King Yen had really gone crazy. "Little brat, go to hell." That primordial stone gave off an endless radiance as it flew forward. The light on it appeared, and the primordial stone cracked. At this moment, the sky fell, and the earth cracked, destroying everything. Not good. The other Saint Kings felt the scene, and their pupils constricted. That was the primordial stone, and its power was equivalent to a Saint King's weapon. Now that it cracked, it was equivalent to a Saint King's weapon being destroyed. The surrounding people were stunned. A Saint King's weapon was destroyed, and its power was too terrifying. It was enough to destroy several worlds. If a Saint King was hit, it would be difficult for him to escape. Therefore, they all quickly retreated. The primordial stone charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. At this moment, the great dragon sword spirit's power was not much. The other Saint King's power had not been transmitted over, and Lin Xian could not resist at all. Chapter 44:07. However, he did not dodge. Instead, he activated the world core. Lin Xian also had two worlds in his hands. That was the dual rain planet. At this moment, the benefits of having two worlds were displayed. Lin Xian could directly mobilize the power of two worlds across the boundless starry sky. At this moment, the two worlds dimmed. The power of the two worlds surged into his body and was injected into the great dragon sword soul. The great dragon sword soul roared again, as if it had been revived. With the power of two worlds, it slashed forward. Boom! The shocking battle blocked that destructive aura. That's great. Peerless Sage King and the rest heaved a sigh of relief. Then they gathered the power of these Sage Kings and attacked. The great dragon sword soul became stronger again and slashed down. Boom! Sage King, Spiritual King, Yen was split into two. Half of his body turned into a bloody mist, while the other half flew into the black flag. It tore open the void and quickly left. Lin Xian swung his sword again. However, the people of the mortal world had mastered an extremely powerful movement technique and disappeared from the world. Lin Xian did not make a move. This was because using the great dragon sword of this level had a huge impact on his physique. At this moment, his divine body was covered in cracks. Fresh blood flowed out from within. The golden blood was abnormally terrifying. It was probably because he had a divine body. Otherwise, the other sage sovereigns would probably not be able to use this sword. Big Brother Xian. Murong Qingqing flew over. She took out the Jade Lake holy water and enveloped Lin Xian. She started to provide Lin Xian with great power. This caused the cracks to quickly heal. The surrounding sea of blood was too terrifying. This time, at least a dozen Sage Kings had fallen. There were those from the deity Dao Union, and even more from the mortal world. It could be said that this time, the mortal world suffered a heavy blow. Sage King Silver Corpse, Sage King Divine Ghost, Sage King Flying Sage King, and the old Sage King of the Great Desolate Mansion had all fallen. Other than that, many of the masked Sage Kings had also fallen after this battle. Even if the mortal world still existed, their strength would be greatly reduced. As for the holy cities where these Saint Kings were, they would also take action. After finding them, they would remove their names from the myriad realms. Xiao Chun left this matter to the deity Dao Union. Even if the holy cities were sealed, they would be able to find them. Lin Xian and the others knew that these people were finished. The people of true spirit world raised their heads to look at the sky. Their faces were filled with fear. At this moment, the sky had already turned red. It released a terrifying aura. That aura wanted to tear their bodies apart. This was such a shocking battle. So many Saint Kings had fallen. This had probably never happened in the past few thousand years. At the same time, the second astral realm was also in a state of shock. This news was brought back by the people of the deity Dao Union and spread in all directions. When they learned that Holy King Silver Corpse, Holy King Skysoar, the old Holy King of Great Desolation Mansion, and Holy King Divine Ghost had died, they were stunned. At first, they didn't believe it. It was impossible. Who could make all these Saint Kings fall? However, when they learned that it was a fight between dozens of Saint Kings, and that the Silver Corpse Saint King and the others were from the human world, they were all stunned. The mortal world in the second astral realm was simply a nightmare. Who would have thought that it would actually be by their side? Moreover, it was these Saint Kings. Could it be that these Saint Kings had really fallen? Did none of them escape? Next, when they saw the sealed Acheron Palace and 10,000 Swords Pavilion being found and destroyed, they were shocked. They were completely convinced, because these holy cities would vanish into thin air and cease to exist. Demon City. Their seals had also been removed and they had been found. The people of the Demon City were filled with despair. They had also received the news that the Holy King had been killed. They felt as if the sky was falling. Seeing the fate of the other holy cities, they were also terrified. On this day, a black-robed man arrived. Qin Wentian stood there like a god. Countless people in the Demon City were terrified. Was the end of the world coming? This figure was Heishan. He said in a clear voice, "Now, seeing that you are all demonic beasts, I will give you a chance. Those above Saint Kings can report to hell. Those below Saint Kings, those who submit to me can live. If you resist, there is no need to exist." What? Those above Saint Kings had all fallen. Damn it. The eyes of those saints, and elders instantly turned red. Run. For a time, countless people fled in all directions. Heishan in the sky sneered. He stretched out a hand, and a black tree appeared behind him. It stood tall and directly covered the world. It completely enveloped the entire holy city. In an instant, those saints were all pierced and turned into a bloody mist, which was absorbed by the black tree. Those below Saint Kings were so scared that they prostrated themselves on the ground. We are willing to submit. They also felt the aura of this black-robed man. It was extremely terrifying. Moreover, he was also a Saint King. It seemed that the other party wanted to regain control of them. All right, from now on, I am the city lord of your demon city. After saying that, a terrifying aura erupted once again, engulfing the world. True spirit world. The primordial grotto was also affected. After all, Saint King Yenling had also escaped. Therefore, the primordial grotto was destroyed. However, the primordial grotto was extremely terrifying. There were also some core areas that had an extremely terrifying aura of death. Even the people of the immortal gods Dao Union did not dare to enter casually. Of course, no one walked out of the grotto. In fact, everyone thought that it was a place of death, so they did not pay any attention to it. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others were waiting again. They were waiting for the seal to open. Peerless Saint King, Kunlun Saint King, and the others joined forces and brought Lin Xian and the others there once. However, they found that the reincarnation guardian had already gone into seclusion. They could only leave and wait for the next opportunity. Eastern wilderness. In a canyon, a figure stood there. His eyes were black and white, which was very strange. It was Yurua. At this moment, he was facing the canyon in front of him with an extremely serious expression. There was also a terrifying aura in the canyon. Obviously, Yurua was cultivating here. There were some people around. When they felt the aura from Yurua's body, their scalps went numb. What a terrifying genius. No one dared to disturb him. At this moment, a few figures flew over from the vicinity. The aura from these people was even more terrifying. It was the buried Emperor's star. Among them, Jingyun was also present. At this moment, he was gnashing his teeth. After all, he had kowtowed and admitted his mistake. This matter had spread and shocked everyone. He had found someone to avenge him. That person was his younger brother. Although his younger brother was young, his talent and strength were stronger than his. Therefore he said, "Brother, treat me well. Little brother, how have I treated you? This time, you must avenge me." Beside Jingyun was an even younger person. He said, "Brother, don't worry. No matter who it is, if they dare to bully you, I will make them wish they were dead." Hearing this, Jingyun revealed a sinister smile. His younger brother had already become a half-step king. With his strength, the other party was definitely dead. Chapter 4408. The group of people flew quickly in the sky. Suddenly, Jingyun froze and looked down. "What's wrong, brother?" the young man beside him asked. Jingyun sneered. "I found him. Although I didn't find that kid, I found one of his companions. If I catch her, I'll be able to find out where that kid is. Maybe I can even get him to come out." After saying that, the group descended into the canyon below. The people below were all comprehending in the canyon. Suddenly, they raised their heads and felt an extremely terrifying power coming from the sky. It was as if their bodies were going to explode. "Retreat quickly." They frantically retreated. Those who were slow to retreat were directly sent flying and vomited blood. This was just the descent of the aura. If these people attacked, how terrifying would it be? Yurua suddenly opened her eyes and looked at the sky with her black and white eyes. The next moment, her pupils shrank and she quickly retreated. "You want to leave? It's too late." In the sky, a cold smile appeared. Then, endless wind and clouds changed, forming a cage that sealed the surroundings. Then, a group of people descended. The surrounding people were all horrified as they raised their heads to look. Who is this person? How could he be so terrifying? When they saw Jingyun, they exclaimed in surprise. It was him. This was an expert from the buried Emperor Star. No wonder he was so terrifying. "You should be Lin Xian's companion. Tell me where he is obediently. I can let you suffer less." Jingyun's cold voice sounded. Yurua's face was cold. She didn't expect to meet these people. She sneered. "You're just a loser. What right do you have to be arrogant in front of Martial Uncle Lin? I advise you to get lost quickly. Otherwise, when Martial Uncle Lin comes, you'll have to kneel again. You're courting death." Jingyun was instantly enraged. This was his scar. Since the other party wasn't courting death, he wouldn't be polite. Sky Cloud Hand. In an instant, a terrifying aura surged out. A white cloud palm pressed down from the sky. At that moment, it was like the palm of a god. Yu Ruan naturally knew how powerful the other party was, so she didn't dare to be careless. Her black and white eyes released two extremely terrifying rays of light. They turned into giant dragons and flew forward. They pierced through the void. The two giant dragons flew in the sky and then swept their tails, causing heaven and earth to collapse. Wherever it passed, it blocked the clouds that filled the sky. It was useless. Jingyun sneered, fearless. The heavenly cloud hand was about to land, and as expected, the two dragons were continuously shattered. Yura also felt immense pressure. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Although the other party had lost and even knelt in front of Lin Xian, this did not mean that the other party was weak. The other party was too terrifying. In the true spirit world and the second astral world, the other party could absolutely sweep through everything. However, Lin Xian was too heaven-defying. That was the reason why her opponent had been defeated. However, Yurua was unable to defeat her opponent. While retreating and coughing up blood, Yurua's eyes flashed with a cold light. Then she launched a powerful eye technique attack. Jingyun snorted coldly, his body swayed, and he almost fell from the sky. In the next moment, he roared madly. "You dare to injure my soul?" He roared madly. No matter how powerful he was now at a disadvantage in the hands of the other party. In the next moment, he roared, "Sky Cloud Hand." First transformation. A terrifying power erupted in an instant. At the same time, the nomological laws on his body condensed to prevent the soul from being bombarded. Yurua vomited blood. She could not block the Sky Cloud Hand and was about to be defeated. However, at this moment, endless frost condensed between heaven and earth. The speed of the Sky Cloud Hand slowed down, and then a figure rescued Yurua. "Are you all right?" Lu Yuan came. The cold aura on his body erupted. Yurua said, "I'm fine, but they're too strong. Let's leave first." Lu Yuan nodded, and the two of them wanted to leave. At this moment, a young man behind them spoke. "You want to leave? Stay here." He stomped his foot, and the ground cracked open. A force rushed towards the two of them. "Not good. Quickly dodge." The two of them quickly retreated, their faces full of fear. Then he said, "Let's join forces." The two of them attacked together to block this attack. In the next moment, the two of them were sent flying. How could the other party be so strong? Who was this person? The two of them were too shocked. One had to know that although they could not defeat Jingyun, the two of them could still contend against him if they joined forces. However, they could not defeat this young man. This person's strength had already surpassed that of a holy venerable. "Leave quickly. Another expert has come to the buried Emperor's star." The two of them turned pale. However, that young man walked out and said coldly, "With just the two of you, do you think you can escape from my hands? I'll break your limbs, make you kneel in front of my brother, kowtow, and admit your mistakes. Then, when that Lin Xian comes, I'll make him suffer a fate worse than death." Jinka walked out, his body emitting a cold aura. Yu Ruo and Lu Yuan both despaired. They felt a huge pressure enveloping their bodies. They were unable to move at all. However, at this moment, a bolt of lightning descended from the sky like a divine sword. The terrifying power directly shot towards Jingyun. Jingyun roared and used the sky cloud hand, but he was sent flying. He was terrified. The lightning was about to pierce through him. "Brother, quickly save me," he roared crazily. Jinka also suddenly turned his head, and a terrifying attack erupted from his eyes. In the next moment, a large hand stretched out and directly enveloped the lightning. The two collided. It was as if two worlds had collided, shaking heaven and earth. This attack destroyed the lightning and sent Jingyun down. When he turned his head, his expression was completely cold, because he discovered that Yu Ruo and Lu Yuan were gone. They had been rescued by someone. He had just finished speaking. With him around, neither of them would be able to escape. But now they were gone. This was a slap to his face. He roared, and the power in his body continued to erupt. A terrifying aura swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. His eyes seemed to have turned into a divine lamp sweeping across the surroundings. In the next moment, he attacked the void in the distance. This attack was too terrifying. The people around the canyon all prostrated on the ground because the void in the sky had turned into chaos. The light of destruction emitted by that light was enough to pierce through a world. Not good. In the void in the distance, Lu Yuan and Yu Ruo's expressions changed. This attack made them feel as if they were facing a sage king. However, there was also a figure beside them. It was Lin Xian, who had saved them. At this moment, Lin Xian also frowned when he felt this power. He directly used the Taiji diagram, which kept spinning and flying out. The terrifying yin and yang aura turned into a sharp sword and collided with the light of destruction. Then, the power in the sky exploded. Lin Xian took the two of them and used the void escape technique to leave in an instant. Not long after they left, Jinka tore through the void and walked over. Behind him, Jingyun and the other people from the buried Emperor's star had also arrived. They looked around and said, "There was no one. No one seemed to be injured. Did they escape? How was that possible?" These people didn't dare to believe it. Jinka also frowned. Then the corners of his mouth curled into a sneer. "Interesting. I'm becoming more and more interested in this world." Chapter 44:09. In a mountain range, the void split open and 3 figures walked out. They were Lin Xian, Yu Ruo, and Lu Yuan. After the 3 of them came out, their eyes flickered. Yu Ruo heaved a sigh of relief that they were saved. Lu Yuan sighed. He had thought that Jingyun and the others were powerful enough, But he did not expect that there would be people even more powerful than them. The buried Emperor's star was truly unimaginable. No matter, when we go in, we will surpass them one day. Lin Xian's eyes shone with determination. Then he said, "We still don't know how the Reincarnation Valley is doing. Let's wait for senior brother Wushuang's news. But before that, I can send you to the sacred land to cultivate." "Really? That's great." The two of them were overjoyed. The sacred land's inheritance was also very ancient. It was not inferior to their sacred city at all. Moreover, its foundation was even deeper than their sacred cities. Lin Xian said, "Lu Yuan, I'll bring you to the ice sacred land. You can cultivate there. As for you, Ruo, follow me to the Yin Yang sacred land." Then Lin Xian made his move. They first went to the ice sacred land. At this moment, Lin Xian and the others' names had already spread throughout the world. These sacred lands were naturally willing to befriend them. In addition, Lin Xian was the hall master of the divine palace. Thus, he quickly stayed in the ice sacred land and cultivated there. As for Lin Xian and Yu Ruo, the two of them went to the Yin Yang sacred land. The Yin Yang sacred land was located in the middle ground. Back then, they were sworn enemies with Lin Xian. Lin Xian had killed many geniuses and experts of the Yin Yang sacred land. Thus, when he returned, the Yin Yang sacred land's people had a very strange expression. They did not know how to face him. However, facing Lin Xian's strength and the difference in status, the Yin Yang sacred land's sect master did not dare to say anything. Instead, he directly invited the two of them over. Lin Xian did not talk about the past. Instead, he found a place and began to cultivate his Taiji diagram. On the other hand, Yu Ruo was cultivating her black and white eyes. The others were also cultivating and waiting. They were waiting for news from the Reincarnation Valley. However, at that moment, a silhouette appeared in the Reincarnation Valley. He said, "I am Spirit Saint King Yen, and I have come to seek an audience with the Reincarnation Protector. You're here." A cold voice came from the valley. Then a figure appeared. It was the Reincarnation Protector. At this moment, his expression was indeed somewhat cold. He said, "Things seem to be developing differently from what you said before. The human world has already lost. What should I do next?" Could it be that he would continue to maintain the seal? This was not in line with the rules. Saint King Yenling's eyes turned cold when he heard this. Damn it. Unexpectedly, the deity Dao Union strength was this strong this time. But don't worry, the human realm hasn't been completely defeated yet. Furthermore, I believe that the Samsara protectors also know about our relationship with the buried Emperor's star. Furthermore, not to mention the buried Emperor's star. The primordial grotto is backed by the primordial ancient mine. This time, I brought this with me. As he spoke, he took out a token. This was an extremely ancient token that gave off a great desolate Aeon aura. When the Reincarnation Protector saw this token, his pupils constricted. He wondered, could it be that those existences from the primordial ancient mine have already awakened? One of the old ancestors has already awakened. So, I believe that the Reincarnation Protector should know who to support, right? Of course, we will not mistreat you. After saying that, the Reincarnation Protector flipped his hand and took out a storage ring containing the treasure from the primordial ancient mine. It was an old herb from 50,000 years ago. Presumably, he will be able to help your cultivation reach a higher level. A light flashed in the Reincarnation Protector's eyes. The Reincarnation Protector was very clear about the human realm. It did not only exist in the second astral realm and the true spirit world. In fact, they also existed in the buried Emperor's star. It could be said to be extremely horrifying. Furthermore, this time, a horrifying character from the primordial ancient mine had awakened. No matter how strong the unparalleled Sage King and the others were, they would not be able to block them. Even the deity Dao Union would not be able to. So the reincarnation protector nodded and said, I understand. I will close the reincarnation valley and open it again after 500 years. Many thanks. Sage King Yen Ling revealed a smile. The reincarnation protector turned and left. None of these people could even think about going to the buried Emperor's star. Next, they would properly take revenge in the human realm. 3 days later, the reincarnation valley was completely closed. A terrifying aura spread out in all directions. Everyone in the true spirit world sensed it. They all raised their heads and looked into the distance, revealing shock. What happened? Why was this aura so horrifying? It seemed like something was about to appear. In the Yin-Yang sacred land, Lin Xian also opened his eyes. The Yin-Yang aura revolved around his body as he looked into the distance. Beside him, Yuruo was also shocked. What happened now? The people of the Yin-Yang sacred land were also shocked. It was not just this place. The other sacred lands naturally noticed it as well. Immediately, their expressions changed. The Jade Lake sacred land's sacred master frowned. The Kunlun sacred king was the same. Murong Qingqing asked, what happened? The Kunlun sacred king said that the aura came from the reincarnation valley and that he could no longer sense it. That reincarnation protector actually dared to close the reincarnation valley. He was completely trying to cut off the path to the buried Emperor's star. What? Murong Qingqing was stunned when he heard that. Could it be that they could no longer go to the buried Emperor's star? The Jade Lake sacred master also frowned and said coldly, he was too much. Since he dared to do this, it seemed like someone had contacted him. On the other side, in the southern border, in the 100,000 great mountains, the peerless sacred king also raised his head. A trace of shock appeared in his eyes. The aura of the reincarnation valley had actually disappeared. Was the reincarnation protector planning to stand on the side of the human realm? He had never cared about the matters here, but now he actually dared to make a move. It seemed like the human realm was really unwilling to give up. However, the reincarnation protector had made a foolish decision this time. Hearing this, Fu Hongye and Linghu Chueshua were also shocked. It seemed that a great change had occurred in the reincarnation valley. The other saint kings and the saint lords of the sacred grounds also frowned. Even the everlasting sacred king roared into the heavens, shattering the stars in the sky. The primordial Sikong had already shattered, but there was still a place of death deeper inside the primordial grotto. The aura, there was even more terrifying. At this moment, a figure appeared. It was Sacred King Yenling. He continued to walk deeper and entered the primordial ancient mine. The primordial ancient mine was a legendary place. Back then, it was an existence that was on par with the nest of 10,000 dragons. No one dared to enter it, but now he had entered it. Not long after, he came out. After coming out, he was incomparably excited because he had obtained a treasure from inside. It was a skull with only one eye. At this moment, that eye was emitting a strange light. It was the heavenly eye. With it, let's see where you can hide. Chapter 44:10. Saint King Yen Ling formed a seal with his palm. Instantly, the ground above the land of death churned, and countless arrays appeared. Then, Saint King Yen Ling respectfully placed the heavenly eye on the array. Then, countless laws appeared on his body, forming runes one after another. Then, it pierced through his body. Countless runes connected with each other, and he began to use a secret technique. The heavenly eye seemed to have been summoned, and it suddenly opened its eyes. Its gaze swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Above the 9 heavens, there was an illusion of the heavens, looking down as if it wanted to see through everything. The heavenly eye enveloped the entire true spirit world. Countless people felt a sense of fear, and their souls seemed to be suppressed. Yin Yong's sacred land. Yu Ruo's pupils constricted, and she suddenly closed her eyes, tears of blood flowing from her eyes. Lin Xian's scalp went numb. Countless golden runes condensed in his eyes, and a pair of golden eyes appeared behind him. It was like the eyes of a god. It floated there, but in the next moment, that terrifying feeling disappeared. He exclaimed, "Who is it? What a powerful eye technique." It was the first time he felt such a terrifying bronze statue. Not only him, but the other sacred lands also felt it. Far away in southern border, Saint King Wushuang of the 100,000 mountains felt the same. He also gasped. He did not expect such a strange thing to happen after the reincarnation valley closed. In the land of death, Saint King Yen Ling sneered, because his heavenly eye had already reflected Saint King Wushuang's image. "You're in southern border? Do you think I can't kill you just because you ran so far away? Today is the day you die." In the next moment, countless arrays appeared under his feet. The power of space tore apart, enveloping his figure, and he disappeared. At the same time, in the 100,000 mountains of southern border, the void shattered, and a figure appeared. Then a terrifying stone hand slapped down from the sky. At the same time, the earth shook, and a stone giant appeared, as if it was going to overturn the entire earth. Oh no, what happened? In the 100,000 mountains, Fu Hongya and Ling Chueshua were both stunned. Saint King Wushuang felt a familiar aura, and he roared, "Run!" As he spoke, he unleashed an extremely terrifying devouring vortex. It shrouded Fu Hongya and her brother. In the next moment, he let out a furious roar and charged toward the sky. The place where he had been standing was now in ruins. The rock giant had turned that place into nothingness. "You can't escape. Today is the day you die." The ancient voice in the sky was filled with boundless power as it swept out in all directions. Then he charged towards Peerless Sage King. As for the stone giants that emerged from the ground, they began to sweep through their surroundings and chase after Linghu Chueshue and Fu Hongya. Naturally, the two of them were no match for him. They could only activate the devouring law and flee quickly. However, the stone giant's strength was beyond their imagination. Therefore, they were stopped in an instant. A single strike had caused cracks to appear. The two of them also vomited blood, their faces filled with despair. "Damn it, am I going to die here? I wonder who did it. Was this the mortal world?" Wung. Just then, a power of law shrouded the two of them before ripping the void apart. Then, a palm slapped down like the hand of the heavens and collided with the stone giant. The stone giant was torn apart by this palm strike. Were they saved? Linghu Chueshue and Fu Hongya cried out in alarm. It was most likely a Sage King. In the next moment, they saw the Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion Sage King appear there. The two of them hurriedly bowed. "Greetings, Senior." "Thank you, Senior, for your help." The Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion Sage King nodded. However, his gaze was looking into the distance, piercing through everything. "Senior, please help. My master is in danger." The two of them grew nervous again. Evidently, a top-notch expert was attacking Peerless Sage King. There was no need for that. Someone had already rushed over. Sensing that aura, the Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion Sage King said, "I'll send you two back to the sanctuary first." After saying that, she brought Linghu Chueshue with her and disappeared. On the other side, a figure was flying above Nanjiang. He was none other than Heishan. He was originally here too. He did not expect that something like this would happen. It seemed that he had gone to help Peerless Sage King. They returned to the sanctuary. At that moment, the sanctuary was also astonished. Lin Xian had also returned with Yu Ruo and Fu Hongya. When they saw Linghu Chueshue and Fu Hongya injured, they all frowned. What was going on? Linghu Chueshue told them what had happened. Lin Xian was also nervous. Was Peerless Sage King being hunted down? Who was it? An ordinary Sage King would not be suitable. Damn it. It seemed like it was an extremely terrifying expert of the older generation. In an instant, he thought of the mortal world. This time, was the mortal world going to be destroyed one by one? Should he summon the Sage Kings? Lin Xian asked. Heavenly Fragrance Pavilion's Sage King said that his friend had already gone. I think it should be fine. Is He Shan here? Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. If He Shan were to help, it should not be a problem. After waiting for a day, two figures returned. They were He Shan and Peerless Sage King. However, Peerless Sage King was not in good condition. It was obvious that he was severely injured. Who was the one who attacked him? Peerless Sage King said that he would not die. However, it was really dangerous this time. If not for Taoist He Shan, I might not have made it back. He Shan also looked at Lin Xian. He said that it was Sage King Yanling, damn it. It was that old thing. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Back then, he should have worked with the Deity Dao Union to kill the other party. However, He Shan said that although they destroyed the primordial grotto, they had the primordial ancient mine behind them. That was an extremely horrifying existence. Naturally, Lin Xian also knew about this. Most likely, there was an extraordinary individual sleeping in there. However, it was not certain whether they could wake up. What should they do? Now, the mortal world did not attack together. Instead, they hid in the dark and assassinated from time to time. This really made them restless. Lin Xian walked over and used the wood elemental laws to treat Peerless Sage King's injuries. However, his brows were tightly knitted together. No, let's go to the Jade Pool first. The group headed to the Jade Pool to treat their injuries. Those from the Jade Pool also heard about it and frowned. The Kunlun Sage King said, "Damn it, it looks like we have to go to the Reincarnation Valley again. The Reincarnation Valley probably will not open again." The Heavenly Fragrance Sage King frowned. With so many of us working together, can we not defeat that reincarnation protector? If we really can't, we can just attack directly. That fellow is very strong, even more terrifying than Sage King Yanling. He might have reached late-stage Sage King. Even if we work together, we might not be able to defeat him. Late-stage Sage King? When these Sage Kings heard this, their expressions changed. Most of them were early-stage Sage Kings. Compared to late-stage Sage Kings, the difference was too great. The other party could indeed sweep through the world alone. Chapter 44:11. All of a sudden, everyone was shocked again. Lin Xian's heavenly secret divine eyes appeared behind him as he looked into the sky. The other Sage Kings also looked up. Damn it, did Sage King Yanling attack again? What did he use? How can he sense where we are so clearly? The Jade Lake Sacred Leader said that it should be the Heaven's Eye. They wondered who he was going to attack this time. In the sky, Sage King Yanling's expression was extremely ugly. He had already severely injured unparalleled Sage King, but he did not expect the black-robed man to come and save him. To be honest, he was very afraid of the black-robed man. The black-robed man appeared and disappeared mysteriously, and he used some tricks that made his hair stand on end. He felt like he was facing the Reincarnation Guardian when he faced the black-robed man. Therefore, he did not continue to chase after him. However, he also knew that unparalleled Sage King could not recover. He had used some terrifying tricks. When he went to the Primordium Ancient Mine, not only did he take out the Primordium token, but he also obtained the Heaven's Eye. At the same time, he also obtained something else, the Poison of Despair. This poison was more powerful than the Supreme Sage Corpse Poison because it was formed from 10 different Supreme Sage Corpse Poisons. It could make anyone despair. Therefore, unparalleled Sage King was definitely dead. Even if he could not kill him personally, he would not be able to survive after being poisoned by the Poison of Despair. Next, he immediately started to look for the others. He immediately thought of Lin Xian. Now that unparalleled Sage King was dead, he wanted to kill Lin Xian. However, when he used the heaven's eye to see that Lin Xian and the others were together, and they were all at the Jade Lake, he frowned. With so many Sage Kings together, it was not convenient for him to attack. Moreover, they were at the Jade Lake. It seemed like he had to hurry up and attack. He had to kill those people before the others arrived at the Jade Lake. He looked around and saw two people. One was Wuji Sage King, and the other was Shueihua Sage King. Shueihua Sage King was the weakest and could be killed in one move. Therefore, Sage King Yanling was prepared to attack him. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others were also very anxious. They discussed and decided to summon the others to the Jade Lake. Otherwise, it would be very dangerous. After all, with so many of them gathered together, the other party probably wouldn't dare to make a move. Another thing was that the Jade Lake had an extreme weapon that could suppress everything. After receiving the news, Wuji Saint King and Bus Saint King were rushing over. However, the distance was still quite far. Furthermore, I'm guessing that Spirit Saint King Yanling has already found the two of them. Everyone's eyes lit up when they heard the Jade Lake sacred leader's words. Lin Xian said, "From the looks of it, he should be there to help. How about this? The 3 Saint Kings will go and receive the Wuji Saint King. Hey Shan, you go and receive the Bus Saint King. I feel that he will most likely attack the Bus Saint King. After all, the Bus Saint King had been injured before and was not in peak condition. It was easy for others to target her." Black Mountain nodded. At this moment, a roar could be heard from the Jade Pool. It was Peerless Saint King. Murong Qingcheng and the others also flew over and said anxiously, "Not good." The Peerless Saint King seemed to have been poisoned again. Was he poisoned again? Everyone was shocked. Lin Xian's expression changed even more. He said, "Everyone, hurry up and act. I'll take care of senior brother." The other Saint Kings nodded. The 3 Saint Kings joined forces and prepared to receive the Wuji Saint King. Black Mountain's figure also disappeared in a flash. Lin Xian, Murong Qingcheng, and the others walked inside. Soon, they arrived at the front. The Peerless Saint King was in the Jade Pool holy water. At this moment, his injuries had already stabilized. He only needed time to recover. However, at this moment, a black aura appeared on his body. It spread rapidly and was even more terrifying than the Supreme Saint Corpse poison. Lin Xian instantly rushed over. "Senior brother, how are you feeling?" As he spoke, he used the Great Dragon Sword Soul to help the other party get rid of it. However, he soon realized that the situation was much worse than he had imagined. The poison this time was much more terrifying than the Supreme Saint Corpse poison. The Crimson Dragon came over to check and also exclaimed, "Damn, do you know what this is?" Lin Xian asked. The Crimson Dragon said that he had heard of a legend. The poison formed by the condensation of 10 Supreme Saint Corpse poisons was known as the poison of despair. It could make everyone despair because there was no chance of recovery. This was probably the poison of despair. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. They could not even withstand 1 Supreme Saint Corpse poison, let alone 10 of them. Damn it, where did this sacred King Yanling get this from? It must be from the Primordium ancient mine. There were countless strange stones in there, many of which were passed down from the ancient times. Damn it, Lin Xian's face was cold. He activated the Great Dragon Sword Soul and released countless dragon-shaped sword chi. He said, "Senior brother, don't worry. Although I can't fully utilize the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul, I can get rid of it for you." The Peerless Saint King opened his eyes. He naturally felt the power of the poison of despair. He turned to the Jade Pool's sacred leader and said, "Fellow cultivator, can you give me an extreme power The Jade Pool's sacred leader's face changed. It's too dangerous. You can't withstand it. The peerless Saint King said, I can only give it a try. Chapter 44:12. Peerless Sage King shook his head. No, I used my extreme Tao to suppress it. However, it is very troublesome to completely eliminate it. It is impossible to do so in a short period of time. Fortunately, there is no danger to our lives for now. Too hateful. If they did not close the Reincarnation Valley, we would have left long ago and would not be in such a passive situation. A supreme elder of the Jade Lake walked over and said, in fact, the world is much more terrifying than you think. Furthermore, with the primordial ancient mine, it was expected that the reincarnation protector would stand on Sage King Yanling's side. However, they did not expect that he would be so ruthless and directly close the valley. What kind of existence was the buried Emperor's star? Even Morom Chingcheng and the others were very puzzled. The old man's eyes flickered. He said that the buried Emperor's star was similar to the true spirit world. It had countless ancient inheritances and mysterious families. It also had many places of death. However, it was different from the true spirit world. Great emperors were buried there. Great emperors were buried there. Everyone sucked in a cold breath. It seemed that the buried Emperor Star's name was not randomly given. There really were great emperors buried there. The great elder shook his head. Almost all the great emperors were buried there. Many of them had come from the true spirit world. This place was the beginning, and that place was the end. After a while, Sage Kings descended from the distance. It turned out that the people who went to receive them had returned. Limitless Sage Kings safely returned. Not long after, Black Mountain and Closed Moon Sage King also returned. At the same time, their respected disciples also returned. They were all qualified to enter the buried Emperor Star. After they arrived, they all let out a sigh of relief. Great. It seemed that Sage King Yanling did not have the chance to make a move. However, Closed Moon Sage King frowned. Although we are safe now, it is not a good idea to stay here for such a long time. We can't stay here forever. Indeed, the others also nodded. What should we do? We must quickly open the Reincarnation Valley and let our people in. Let's go to the buried Emperor Star. Indeed, this was the most important thing right now. However, at this moment, Seven-Star Sage King coldly said, will we be safe after we enter the buried Emperor Star? Don't forget how we were poisoned at the Primordial Grotto's banquet. As soon as these words came out, the expressions of the other people also changed. They clearly remembered the reason why they were poisoned. They were the people who returned from the buried Emperor Star. It was said to be the antidote, but in the end, it framed them. What exactly happened for those people to betray them? The Supreme Elder of the Jade Lake Sacred Ground said. He had said before that the human world was very terrifying. Even on the buried Emperor Star, they were terrifying existences. Most likely, those who went in had already joined the human world. That's why he attacked us. Then, would the new person be subdued by the human world as well? This was something that no one knew. At this moment, Peerless Saint King also walked out. His face was extremely pale. Obviously, his injuries had not healed yet. However, at this moment, his eyes were indeed emitting a biting cold light. He said that rather than this, it would be better for all of them to go to the buried Emperor Star. I want to see who it is that dares to attack us. Are we all going? Those Saint Kings were also stunned. To be honest, they also had the same thought. However, they knew that the buried Emperor Star was even more terrifying. Once they entered, they would no longer be supreme existences. Perhaps there would be people even more terrifying than them, such as great saints or even existences above great saints. At that time, their identity and status would definitely change. How could these Saint Kings, who had been used to ruling the world for thousands of years, endure this? Peerless Saint King said, I won't force you. Those who are willing to stay can stay here. As for those who want to go, we'll gather together." After a discussion, a portion of them prepared to go together, while the rest stayed behind. Of course, whether these people went or not, they all wanted to kill Spirit Saint King Yen. After all, there was such a terrifying expert of the older generation who could lock onto their position and attack them at any time. They were afraid that they would be in great danger in the future. "Let's go." These people soared into the sky and once again headed towards the Reincarnation Valley. They arrived there and stood in the void. The Kunlun Saint Sovereign's cold voice sounded. "Reincarnation Protector, please come out." In the Reincarnation Valley, the Reincarnation Protector opened his eyes and frowned. These people actually came here directly, and there were so many of them. What? Were they trying to scare him with such a scene? How laughable! It seemed that these people were pitifully stupid. Beside him was an old man. It was Spirit Saint King Yen. He said, "It seems that these people can't wait any longer. However, they actually dared to attack you. I think they really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Let's go. Let's see what right they have to be arrogant in front of me." The Reincarnation Protector walked outside. Behind him, Spirit Saint King Yen followed and sneered. Outside in the empty palace, everyone waited patiently. This time, they had all decided that they must open the Reincarnation Valley. All of a sudden, the ground split open as a terrifying, gigantic rock hand grabbed out at Lin Xian. It seemed that it wanted to crush Lin Xian. Lin Xian's pupils shrank, and he used the great sage tower to block it. With a clang, he was forced back. However, he roared and used the dragon-shaped sword chi to slash forward. It also blocked the giant stone hand. At the same time, Black Mountain slapped out a black palm and directly tore the rock hand into pieces. At the same time, his gaze pierced through the front. The surrounding Saint Kings also changed their expressions. Did someone attack again? And looking at this mystique, it was definitely Spirit Saint King Yen. This guy was also in the Reincarnation Valley. They all looked forward. In the next moment, they saw two figures walk out. It was the Reincarnation Protector and Spirit Saint King Yen. "Kid, you're really lucky. You didn't die even after that." Spirit Saint King Yan's eyes were filled with killing intent. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "Old thing, one day, I will personally kill you." "How dare you?" the Reincarnation Protector roared, and a terrifying aura swept out in all directions. Lin Xian felt as if his soul was about to split open. He roared, and his eyes shone with an unparalleled golden light. The great dragon sword soul in his body roared, and the dragon tribe's breathing technique was also activated to block it. Not only that, Peerless Saint King even used the devouring law. The Kunlun Saint King had to use Kunlun Mountain to block the roar. In the next moment, they looked forward with a hint of fear in their eyes. The Reincarnation Protector was indeed strong. However, they also had a hint of anger. Chapter 44:13. You're just a sacred venerate. What right do you have to speak here? The Reincarnation Guardian's cold voice rang out. Then he looked at Peerless Sacred King. "Even if he's your junior, you can't be so unruly. Are you going to do it, or should I?" Peerless Sacred King snorted coldly. He said, "My junior didn't do anything wrong. It was Spirit Sage King Yen who wanted to kill him. What's wrong with my junior saying a few words? I don't think my junior is wrong. Or is it that the Reincarnation Guardian doesn't differentiate between right and wrong, and is on Spirit Sage King Yan's side? If that's the case, I have nothing to say. We can only fight. You dare to challenge me?" The Reincarnation Guardian took a step forward. A terrifying aura emanated from his body, as if it was going to sweep through everything. The power on his body was too terrifying. The moment he appeared, the surrounding sacred kings felt their scalps go numb. Even peerless Saint King furrowed his brows. However, he did not retreat. Instead, he said, "So what if I challenge you? You've already meddled in too many things. As the Reincarnation Guardian, your purpose is to protect the Reincarnation Valley. You can't meddle in other things. But now that you've broken the rules, don't blame us." "That's right." Kunlun Sacred King and Wuji Sacred King walked up. The surrounding Sacred Kings also stood up. They said, "Open the Reincarnation Mountain and let us pass safely. We won't attack. Otherwise, don't blame us for joining forces." "Joining forces? With just you?" The Reincarnation Guardian laughed out loud, his eyes filled with disdain. The aura on his body continued to radiate, piercing through the sky and sweeping through everything. Then he said, "Even if you join forces, you're still no match for me." With that, he struck out with his palm. A terrifying light swept through the area. This power was really too strong. Those Saint Kings felt their bodies tremble. Then they roared and retreated quickly. These people retreated frantically to avoid the attack. Peerless Sacred King and Lin Xian's eyes narrowed. They realized that the attack was directed at them. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He used the great sacred tower to envelop the two of them. At the same time, Peerless Sacred King roared. He waved his unparalleled sword and slashed towards the sky. From the looks of it, he was not holding back at all and was planning to go all out. With a slash of the sword, a terrifying sword light split the world apart. Not even a world could withstand it. The two collided, and Peerless Holy King was sent flying. Fortunately, with the protection of the Grand Sage Tower, he didn't suffer too many injuries. However, the surrounding people were all stunned. Even Peerless Saint King's full-powered attack could not block the Reincarnation Protector's casual attack. The gap between the two sides was really too big. "I've already said that you're no match for me. You don't have the qualifications to challenge me." The Reincarnation Protector stood there with his hands behind his back, looking down at the world with disdain in his eyes. Then he stared at Lin Xian. "Brat, I didn't expect you to have so many treasures on you. I've taken a liking to this saint item. Hand it over obediently." Lin Xian's expression was also ice cold. He gritted his teeth and said, You don't have the right to take anything from me. Do you think you can contend against me just because you're a saint venerable and can sweep through the world? Do you think you can contend against me? Even your senior brother can't do it, let alone you." With that, the Reincarnation Protector's eyes suddenly emitted a terrifying light. He looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt his body tremble, and his soul was about to be torn apart. Then a terrifying aura appeared around him, as if it was about to pull him into the cycle of reincarnation. What a terrifying power! Is this an eye technique? Lin Xian was stunned. He roared and activated his heavenly secret god eyes. Then countless golden runes covered the surroundings. At the same time, the great dragon sword soul roared and slashed at the void. In the next moment, he quickly retreated, cold sweat dripping down his body. It was too terrifying. The other party's gaze had almost killed him. No wonder all the Saint Kings were afraid of the Reincarnation Protector. The surrounding Saint Kings were also stunned, especially Saint King Yenling, whose pupils shrank. The other party didn't die. It was too unbelievable. One had to know that the Reincarnation Protector controlled a trace of the power of reincarnation. He looked around and saw that no one in the 6 paths of reincarnation could survive. Logically speaking, the other party should have turned into dust, but the other party was still alive. Even the Reincarnation Protector's face darkened. "You're the first one who could withstand my glare without dying. I'm very interested in what secrets you have." The Reincarnation Protector's eyes shone brightly. It seemed like he wanted to attack again. But at this time, Saint King Wushuang attacked, and a terrifying sword chi flashed. The Reincarnation Protector stretched out a palm and swept it in all directions. "It's useless, Wushuang." No matter how strong you are, you're no match for me. The devouring law is useless against me. The devouring law in the sky wanted to devour him, but his gaze shattered everything. Buzz. The Kunlun Saint King roared, and the Kunlun mountain fell from the sky. The terrifying power caused the entire void to collapse, and the 9 heavens and 10 lands were torn apart. However, the reincarnation protector's palm broke the Kunlun mountain into pieces. The Kunlun Saint King also retreated, and his face became extremely pale. The surrounding people were shocked. They all attacked and realized that they couldn't hurt the other party at all. Like I said, you ants aren't my match at all. You don't know what I mean to you. Not only do I control the reincarnation valley, but I also control the reincarnation of this world. If I want you to die, you'll die. If I want you to live, you'll live. The power of reincarnation was too terrifying. Everyone felt despair. Although they were Saint Kings, they could defeat everything. But at this moment, their faces were filled with despair. However, at this time, one of them sneered. You control reincarnation? What a joke. Who do you think you are? How dare you say you control reincarnation? You only borrowed a little power from the reincarnation valley, and you dare to be arrogant here? What a joke. Who was it? Did they want to die? The reincarnation protector was instantly furious. Who dared to challenge him like this? His gaze swept across and quickly locked onto a figure. Then he frowned. He saw a man in a black robe in front of him. His face was covered, and he couldn't see who it was. Saint King Yenling also frowned. He said, "This is a new Saint King, but I feel that he's very mysterious. He must have secrets. No matter what secrets he has, if he dares to challenge me, I'll send him to hell." With that, the reincarnation protector attacked again. How dare you underestimate my reincarnation power? Then I'll let you experience it personally. His eyes shone with a shocking light, and then he flew forward. This power was too terrifying. It carried an extremely strong law that could sweep through everything. No one could resist it. However, Black Mountain sneered. He formed a seal with his palms, and the ground around him shattered. Countless spirit veins were under his control, forming a peerless array. Then it turned into a blade light and descended from the sky. Boom, boom. Earth-shattering sounds rang out, and a terrifying power tore everything apart. The reincarnation protector was stunned. He could control the Earth's spirit veins? It seemed that he was a powerful array master. But so what? In the face of absolute power, it was useless. He sent out another palm strike. Chapter 44:14. Boom. He Shan formed a large black seal that descended from the sky and attacked his opponent. The battle between the two shocked everyone. They realized that He Shan could actually block the reincarnation protector's attack. It was truly shocking. This guy had just become a Sage King, but he could already fight against the reincarnation protector? How did he do it? The reincarnation protector frowned. Logically speaking, the opponent's aura was too weak. He should be able to kill such a person instantly. However, he realized that he couldn't do it now, because every attack from the opponent was hitting the weakness of his power and laws. In other words, the opponent was suppressing him. Could it be a coincidence? No one knew his weakness. Your heavenly spirit technique is not that good. It's really far from it. He Shan sneered. The reincarnation protector's pupils constricted. He roared crazily. "Damn it, who are you? Who are you?" He was really shocked. The heavenly spirit technique was the martial art he cultivated. No one knew about it, not even Sage King Yenling. He was probably the only one who knew about it in this world. But how did the opponent know? Could it be that the opponent came from the buried Emperor's star? But that shouldn't be the case. He thought about it and didn't know the opponent. However, He Shan didn't say anything and continued to control the black seal. He continued to attack. The reincarnation protector was completely gloomy. He said, "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." He formed a seal with his palms, and a ray of reincarnation light shot out from his eyes. Boom! The black seal was sent flying. Then the ray of light pierced through Heishan. Not good. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. The other sage kings also cried out in alarm. Could it be that such a powerful person couldn't block it? Then, who was his opponent? Heishan's body turned into green smoke and disappeared. He then reappeared on the other side. The reincarnation light? Humph, if I was at my peak, I could kill you with a slap. Although Heishan had recovered, he was only a sage king. He couldn't use some great divine abilities. The reincarnation protector sneered. "Who am I? So this is all you've got? No matter who you are, you're no match for me. Then let's fight together." Peerless Saint King snorted coldly. The other Saint Kings also stood out. The reincarnation protector laughed out loud. "Since you want to die, I'll send you on your way." The great battle shook the heavens and the earth. The surrounding young disciples were in despair. This was because they realized that even with so many Saint Kings attacking together, they were still no match for the reincarnation protector. The other party was really too powerful. Not only did he have the strength of a late-stage Saint King, but he also had the strength of a late-stage Saint King. Furthermore, he possessed the light of reincarnation. Once that light was unleashed, no one could block it. Lin Xian was also shocked, not only because of the strength of the samsara protector. Was it because of the light of reincarnation? When the first reincarnation light was shot out, his Tianji God eyes started to change. An extremely terrifying aura was vibrating. His heavenly secret God eyes seemed to be summoned by something. This surprised him. He thought that something had happened to his heavenly secret divine eyes and that he was injured. But later on, he discovered that this wasn't the case. Only when the light of reincarnation appeared would the heavenly fate divine eyes undergo such a change. Could it be that the heavenly secret divine eyes had something to do with samsara time? He said, "Senior brother, can you help me devour a trace of the light of reincarnation?" "What are you trying to do?" Lin Xian explained the changes that had occurred to him. Unparalleled Saint King was also shocked. "All right, but you have to be careful. The light of reincarnation is too terrifying. If you are injured, you will immediately enter the cycle of reincarnation. By then, even I won't be able to save you." Lin Xian said, "I know, I will be careful." Then everyone attacked together. The samsara protector shot out another light of reincarnation. Everyone frantically tried to block it. At this time, the devouring law formed a vortex and swallowed some of the light of reincarnation. "It's useless. Your devouring law has no effect on my light of reincarnation." The samsara protector sneered, but in the next moment he was stunned, because he realized that the light of reincarnation was charging towards Lin Xian. Moreover, Lin Xian's eyes suddenly emitted a cold light and absorbed the samsara protector's light of reincarnation. What was going on? Everyone was stunned. Was Lin Xian courting death? The samsara protector sneered. It seemed like he didn't have to do anything. This kid was dead meat. Lin Xian felt a huge impact. It was as if he couldn't hear anything, because he felt a strange change. His eyes were not damaged because of it. Instead, they absorbed the energy of the light of reincarnation. At this moment, it was gradually becoming stronger. "Buzz, junior brother, are you all right?" Unparalleled Saint King was also extremely nervous, but in the next moment, Lin Xian's eyes regained light. He said, "I'm fine. How was that possible?" The samsara protector was stunned. Everyone else was also stunned. They knew very well how frightening the light of reincarnation was. Even with so many of them working together, they couldn't withstand it. But Lin Xian was actually fine. What was going on? Damn it. The Samsara protector stared at Lin Xian. He desperately wanted to capture Lin Xian. Unparalleled Saint King said, and attacked together. They charged towards the Samsara protector. At the same time, Spirit Saint King said, "Don't worry, I'll capture this person for you." His body flickered as he charged toward Lin Xian. "Damn it, how dare you!" The surrounding people roared. They couldn't even fight against one of the reincarnation protectors, let alone Spirit Saint King Yen. He was also a veteran Saint King. Boom! An earth-shattering sound rang out. The void shattered, and a figure appeared. It was a mortal scholar. As soon as he appeared, he shot out ice that filled the sky and swept forward. He blocked Spirit Saint King's path. That was great. Unparalleled Saint King and the others heaved a sigh of relief. On the other hand, Spirit Saint King's face was cold. Boom! A layer of armor appeared on his body. At the same time, he took out a giant stone hammer. There was a terrifying power on it. One strike could shatter heaven and earth. Even the sky full of ice was broken. One could imagine how terrifying that strike was. "Kill!" Scholar Immortal roared furiously and quickly rushed out. The battle erupted again. They charged towards the sky. Lin Xian and the others quickly retreated and landed on the ground. Their faces became incomparably solemn. They didn't know what the result of this attack would be, although there were only 2 people on the other side this time. It was better than anything else. Just as Lin Xian and the others were nervously watching, a few figures quickly flew over from afar. It was Jingyun and the other geniuses of the buried Emperor's Star. These people should be coming. Jingyun looked down. When he saw Lin Xian, he immediately laughed. "Little brother, I guessed right. He's here. He wants to enter the buried Emperor's Star from here." Jinka also looked down and sneered. There was no chance for them to do so. Today was the day of his death. He won't be able to enter in his lifetime. As he spoke, he roared and increased his speed. Lin Xian and the others could feel the aura coming from afar. They all turned their heads. Were the people of the mortal world here? Soon, they discovered that they weren't, because they weren't Saint Kings. Although their auras were powerful, they were only Saint Sovereigns. One of them was even more terrifying than a Saint Sovereign. However, he hadn't reached the level of a true Saint King. Chapter 44:15. It's them. Yu Ruo looked over and instantly frowned. They discovered that the people who came were from the buried Emperor's Star. Jingyun sneered. "Brat, let's see how you escape. Since you dared to treat me like that, I'll pay you back 10,000 times. Today, I'll make you wish you were dead." Lin Xian was already very anxious. He didn't know how the battle between the Sage Kings was going. When he saw Jingyun, he immediately frowned and said, "Scram. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die without a burial ground. Don't think that just because you're from the buried Emperor's Star, I won't dare to kill you." "Are you courting death?" Jingyun roared. "Little brother, kill him." Jinka also walked over. "You're Lin Xian, right? You're really arrogant. However, if you kneel down and kowtow to my brother, I'll give you a quick death. Who do you think you are?" Lin Xian frowned. Then he looked at Jingyun. "Since you can't win, you're calling for your little brother? Do you have any shame? My little brother is stronger than me. He's already a half-step Sage King. You're definitely not his match. Brat, you've lost your last chance. Is that so?" Lin Xian sneered. "You dare to come here with just the 2 of you? Seems like you don't know the difference between life and death." Jingyun said, "So what if there are so many people? Do they dare to attack me? I'm from the buried Emperor's Star. Whoever dares to attack me is an enemy of the buried Emperor's Star. Can you bear it?" Jingyun roared. Sure enough, the people in the surroundings felt their scalps go numb. Lin Xian sneered. "There's no need for these people to deal with you 2 trash. I can kill you all by myself." He was also angry. Since they were courting death, He'll fulfill their wish. Brat, your opponent is me. After saying that, Jinka walked up and stared at Lin Xian. How despicable. Are all the people from the buried emperor star like this? He's clearly a half-step sage king, but he dares to attack a mid-stage sage venerable. Even if you win, do you feel proud? Fu Hongye coldly snorted. My cultivation is higher than his, so I can naturally suppress him. If you're not convinced, come and kill me. Jinka looked like he was asking for a beating, but no one dared to attack him. That was because the other party's cultivation was simply too strong, far surpassing theirs. Lin Xian said, Hongye, don't worry. Leave this guy to me. However, I am not used to seeing him use his power to bully others. Thus, I want him to have a taste of what it feels like to bully others. All of you attack Startling Cloud together. I don't believe that he can withstand it, no matter how strong he is. The eyes of Fu Hongye and the others lit up when they heard that. With regards to Lin Xian's strength, naturally they were very relieved. Therefore, 8 people from Peerless City walked up and stared at Jing Yun. I heard that you're a peerless genius, yet you still dare to sweep through everything. Today, you will fight with the 8 of us. Let's see how strong you are. As soon as he said this, Jing Yun's expression instantly turned ugly. Jinka roared as well. You dare to touch my brother? Try it. I'll send all of you to hell. Lin Xian smiled. Your enemy is me, so you don't have the right to care about other things. Damn it, Jing Yun roared. You guys are despicable. Using numbers to bully me. We are using numbers to bully you. If you don't like it, come and bite us. Shangwan Shaoxian also snorted coldly. You're allowed to call yourself a half-step holy king, but we're not allowed to gang up on you? Everyone attacked together. With a roar, these strong cultivators instantly rushed up and fought with Jing Yun. No matter how strong Jing Yun was, he could not withstand the combined attacks of 8 strong cultivators. Instantly, he let out a roar. His body was torn apart and blood flowed out. When Jinka saw the scene, he wanted to go back and help. However, Lin Xian struck out with his sword, cutting off the sky and earth, blocking his way. Weren't you extremely arrogant before, wanting to suppress me? I want to see what kind of strength you have. Go to hell. Jing Yun roared angrily, and the battle instantly erupted. As a half-step holy king, his strength was ridiculously strong, far surpassing that of a holy venerable. Therefore, with one strike, the sky fell and the earth cracked, causing the surrounding people's expressions to change. Lin Xian, on the other hand, let out a furious roar and unleashed his powerful divine body, sweeping out in all directions. At the same time, he activated his 10 ultimate swords, releasing light. He seemed to have turned into a peerless sword god, sweeping through everything. With one strike, he arrived in front of his opponent. The two collided, letting out an earth-shaking sound. Jinka was originally disdainful, but when they really fought, he realized that his opponent was very strong. Although his opponent was only a mid-stage holy venerable, his strength was not weaker than his at all. The sword chi was extremely sharp, causing him to be terrified, and his opponent's physique and strength also caused his arm to go numb. Roar! He roared, and endless precepts appeared on his body. The power of his bloodline was activated, and he swept out with tyrannical strength. A long saber appeared in his hand, and he kept attacking. Every strike landed on his divine body. Lin Xian's divine body was also trembling nonstop. One could imagine that his opponent was indeed a top-notch expert. However, the more Lin Xian fought, the braver he became. He held the 10 ultimate swords and swept through all directions. The two collided again, and the surrounding people were shocked as they watched. However, at this time, Guan Songhai said, I am very interested in the battle in the distance. So, everyone, I will go over. As he spoke, he joined Jing Yun's battle. Qin Xianer also smiled. Then I will go as well. In this way, there were 10 experts. Jing Yun was already unable to hold on, and now he was in an even more miserable state. Not only that, the people from the 3 great dragon races also went over. Jing Yun's body exploded several times. He wanted to escape, but he could not. There were experts everywhere blocking his path. This was a kind of despair, something he had never experienced before in his life. He truly did not expect that these people would dare to be so bold. Could it be that they were not afraid of the buried Emperor's star? How could he know that because the reincarnation valley was closed, it was unknown whether these people could go to the buried Emperor's star? Therefore, when the buried Emperor's star was mentioned, they naturally carried an astonishing killing intent. At this moment, they released all of their killing intent on Jing Yun. Jinka was so angry that he vomited blood when he saw his brother being beaten up. "You're courting death." He attacked towards the distance, but it was blocked by Lin Xian's Taiji diagram. Boom, boom, boom. Tens of thousands of sword lights all landed on Jing Yun's body, sending him flying. Jing Yun's body was also constantly shaking, and cracks appeared on the battle armor that appeared on his body. This caused him to be terrified. With a furious roar, he turned into a bolt of lightning and attacked unceasingly. A heavenly steel appeared on his palm, and when it opened and closed, it could sweep through everything. Lin Xian's sword chi was beaten until it dimmed. However, at this moment, Lin Xian slapped out with his palm, using the man ruler seal. This attack was really too powerful. Under this attack, Jing Yun's battle armor was directly shattered. Jing Yun vomited a large mouthful of blood, and his body was directly penetrated. Then Lin Xian used the mountain embracing seal, and a divine mountain appeared between heaven and earth. A terrifying aura swept through the 9 heavens. It directly suppressed Jing Yun. Chapter 44:16. The earth trembled, and a crazy roar sounded. Jing Yun, who was in the distance, was blasted apart again. However, when his soul looked forward, he was indeed stunned, because he discovered that his younger brother was also suppressed. Damn it! How was this possible? His younger brother was a half-step holy king. How could he be suppressed by that brat? Could it be that countless geniuses and experts had joined hands as well? But when he realized that Lin Xian was the only one who did it, he was completely dumbfounded. When the toad saw this scene, it laughed loudly. "Ha ha ha, this is your genius younger brother? Why do I feel like he's so trashy? I say, the people in your family are all trash. Damn it, are you courting death, Aunt?" Jinka was suppressed, and when he heard the toad's voice, he also roared crazily. When had he ever been mocked by such an ant? So he roared angrily, and countless terrifying runes appeared on his body, condensing into a long saber phantom. It surrounded his body. It actually blasted the divine mountain up. The toad was shocked. Damn, he can still come out. "Kid, hurry up and beat him up." Lin Xian also snorted coldly. "You're no match for me at all. Do you think that you can look down on everything just because you're a half-step holy king? You might be able to do it elsewhere, but not in front of me." Buzz. Lin Xian used the invincible sword and directly sent it flying. Jinka had just gotten up, but he was instantly sent flying. Another crack appeared on his body. Damn it. Kill. He retreated and rushed to the back, wanting to save his brother. Then he left. However, at this moment, a figure blocked his path. Damn it, get lost. Seeing that it wasn't Lin Xian, Jinka also roared crazily. However, that man shot forth a punch. Are you courting death? Other than Lin Xian, who had surprised him, he didn't care about the others at all. So he also slashed out with his saber. However, in the next moment, he was once again in despair, because he discovered that this person's fist was really too terrifying. It carried an incomparably terrifying aura. It directly pierced through his long saber. Boom. His body was blasted apart. The surrounding people were also stunned. Hair to the heavens. Even Lin Xian was surprised. In the end, a smile appeared on his face. That was because he realized that the one who attacked was none other than Chao Tianxing. He had seen how mysterious Chao Tianxing was, so he knew that Chao Tianxing was very strong. As expected, the other party had severely injured a half-step Holy King the moment he attacked. How could this be? Jinka was completely dumbfounded. He could still accept the shock of being defeated by Lin Xian. After all, every world had a top genius who could defy the heavens. However, such a person was too rare. In fact, there might not even be one in a few thousand years. However, he did not expect that apart from Lin Xian, another person had appeared. A single punch was enough to severely injure him. Damn it, who are you? Who are you? Jingyun was also scared to tears. He roared crazily, Stop fighting. We admit defeat. What a joke. How could he have reached such a stage? If they continued to fight, the two of them would definitely die. Therefore, they let out a roar. Hearing that, Ling Hu Chue Xue and the others stopped. Then they sneered. You want to admit defeat now? What were you doing earlier? Fu Hongya slapped Jingyun's face and sent him flying. On the other side, Jinka gritted his teeth and said, Brother, let's go. With that, he turned around and wanted to leave with Jingyun. However, Lin Xian smirked coldly. The Taiji diagram in the sky descended, blocking their path. You think you can come and go as you please? Do you think this is your family? Here, we have the final say. Who let you go? Come and die. The Tai Chi diagram sent down countless sword chi. The terrifying aura swept through everything. Jingyun and Jinyun were forced back. When they came back, they gritted their teeth. Jinka said, We are from the Jing family. Do you dare to attack us? If you kill us, our family will send top experts here. Then none of you will be able to live. So stop fighting and let us leave. Is your family very powerful? Since that's the case, won't we be able to call for more powerful experts if we let you go back? Why don't we just kill you? The Crimson Dragon sneered. The Toad also nodded and said it would be a pity to kill them. Let's turn them into battle servants, or refine them into puppets. I know a way to turn them into puppets. That way, they can be used by us in the future. That's a good idea. Lin Xian also nodded. The others also sneered. The Jingyun brothers' expressions changed, especially Jinka. He was furious. Do you want to die? How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? Lin Xian sneered and formed a seal with his palm. The mountain-embracing seal descended again and suppressed the other party. The other party's body exploded once again. Everyone laughed. Is the buried Emperor's star very powerful? It's only as a whole. However, at this moment, a light appeared in Jinka's eyes. His body suddenly split open, and one of the figures instantly rushed out and left the mountain-embracing seal. Then he charged forward. In the next moment, he arrived in front of a person and enveloped the other party with a long saber in his hand. Oh no, damn it! How dare you attack? The Crimson Dragon roared. Lin Xian's face also darkened, and a cold, killing intent appeared in his eyes. It seems that you really don't know what's good for you. Get lost, or I'll kill her. Jinka roared crazily. The person he had enveloped was none other than Shin Jingqiu. Therefore, Lin Xian and the others were very nervous. Lin Xian's killing intent was biting cold. How dare you attack my people? I'll let you know what it means to live a life worse than death. Brat, is this one of your people? Good, if you dare to touch me, I'll send you to hell. Now kneel down obediently and break your own arms. I'll make you kowtow to me. I'll make you crawl under my feet. Jinka's ferocious voice sounded. Everyone's expressions became unsightly. They did not expect that the other party would have such a secret technique that allowed him to escape while being suppressed by the divine mountain. He even threatened Shen Jingqiu. At this moment, Shen Jingqiu snorted coldly, and an extremely terrifying aura erupted from her eyes. A heaven and earth Dharma idol appeared behind her. It was incomparably mysterious. A monstrous power surged, and then a palm strike sent Jinka flying. Jinka retreated in the air and vomited blood. His eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. How is this possible? I was defeated by a third person today. Damn it! How can there be so many terrifying experts in this world? The surrounding people were also stunned. Is Shen Jingqiu also so powerful? It's simply too unbelievable. What's that heaven and earth Dharma idol behind her? Lin Xian's eyes shone with a sharp radiance. The danger was gone. He was now in front of the other party, and he stepped on him, stomping him into the ground. Then he released a dragon-shaped sword chi and pierced through the other party's body, nailing him to the ground. Jinka roared crazily as blood flowed out. He wanted to escape. However, the power of the great dragon sword soul was not something he could resist. Chapter 44:17. Jinka's previous actions had thoroughly angered Lin Xian. Lin Xian said coldly, "Originally, I thought that I would give you a way out. However, you actually acted so recklessly and attacked the people around me. Dragons have reverse scales. Since you've touched my reverse scale, you'll definitely die today." Hearing this, the expressions of the surrounding people changed. Lin Xian wanted to attack the people of the buried Emperor Star. Even Linghu Chui Xue and the others had grave expressions. To be honest, they would not hesitate to heavily injure Jingyun. However, they did not dare to kill these two people. After all, they were both in awe and fear of the buried Emperor Star. "You dare?" Jingyun roared crazily. Lin Xian sneered. "Why wouldn't I dare?" After saying that, he slapped out with his palm. With a boom, Jinka's body exploded. In the next moment, he used his heavenly secret divine eyes and pulled Jinka's soul into the Tao reincarnation. He made Jinka suffer for 10,000 years. Jingyun did the same. Finally, Lin Xian used his light of reincarnation and killed the two of them. The surrounding people were all stunned. They did not expect that Lin Xian would really kill the two of them. Those two brothers probably did not believe that the other party would dare to attack them even when they died. The reason why Lin Xian killed the two of them was because he was completely enraged. Moreover, his final killing move was the light of reincarnation. The light of reincarnation was something that he had absorbed from the reincarnation protectors. His heavenly secret divine eyes could actually fuse with the light of reincarnation. At this moment, he used the light of reincarnation to kill these people. Presumably, these families would not be able to trace it back to him. After killing the two of them, Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the sky. "Jingyun, these two people were nothing to be afraid of. The most important thing was the battle between the sage kings above, because it concerned whether or not they could go to the buried Emperor Star. This kind of battle was going on in the outer realm. Terrifying power enveloped them. Lin Xian and the others were incomparably shocked. It had to be said that the two of them were really too strong, especially that reincarnation protector. He was fighting a group of Saint Kings alone, and he was actually not at a disadvantage at all. This was especially true for the light of reincarnation, which was incomparably terrifying. Once it was unleashed, no one dared to resist and could only flee. There were only two people who could contend against the light of reincarnation. Even Black Mountain, an undying scholar, Heishan had many tricks up his sleeve. Although he couldn't fight against the light of reincarnation, he wasn't afraid of it either. As for Scholar Immortal, he could use Immortal Frost. Only the inextinguishable polar ice was able to resist the light of samsara. However, he could only resist for a short period of time. He wouldn't be able to contend against it for a long time. After all, Reincarnation was too mysterious, and the light of reincarnation was even more terrifying. In the end, the reincarnation protector was completely enraged. A bunch of reckless fools. Today, I'll send you on your way. As he roared, the sealed reincarnation valley once again appeared. Then, the reincarnation valley shone with light, and a pagoda appeared from within. 6 paths of reincarnation pagoda. A terrifying aura appeared. It bloomed with an incomparable aura. Furthermore, it was connected to the reincarnation protector, allowing the reincarnation protector to control an even more powerful reincarnation power. He roared into the sky. Today, all of you will enter reincarnation. An illusion of the reincarnation pagoda appeared between heaven and earth. 6 extremely terrifying passageways seemed to swallow everything. Oh no! Songhai Saint King's pupils constricted. His body was pierced by the light of reincarnation and instantly split open. In the next moment, he let out a terrified cry. On the other side, Louis Saint King's body was also shattered and turned into a bloody mist. Their faces became extremely pale. Buzz, seeing that these people were about to enter reincarnation, Lin Xian's pupils also constricted. The surrounding people were even more shocked. Lin Xian struck out. The great dragon sword soul flew into the sky. After the Saint Kings saw the Tao, they desperately activated and displayed their power. The great dragon sword soul bloomed with an incomparable aura and slashed into the void. It slashed apart the aura of reincarnation. Songhai Saint King and Louis Saint King frantically retreated. They all heaved a sigh of relief. It was too terrifying. They had almost been sucked into reincarnation. Once they entered, they would probably die without a doubt, even if they were Saint Kings. How could it be? It could actually block the 6 paths of reincarnation. The reincarnation Saint King was stunned as he looked at the dragon-shaped sword in the sky. On the other side, Saint King's spirit Saint King's pupils also constricted. Could it be the legendary item? There were very few that could fight against the 6 paths of reincarnation. This sword shadow was clearly not a saint artifact, which meant that it was even rarer. After thinking for a while, they thought of a legend, the Great Dragon Sword, the legendary offensive saint technique that could destroy everything. It was understandable that the reincarnation could be slashed apart. They did not expect to see the legendary item here. The reincarnation Saint King's eyes shone with an extremely cold light. Kid, it looks like I have to kill you this time. It would be a waste to leave this thing with you. Lin Xian snorted coldly and shot into the sky. Morong Qingcheng and the others were also extremely worried. Although they should have the great sage pagoda, would it be safe in the battle between so many Saint Kings? They did not know and were not confident. Lin Xian came up and used the great sage pagoda to protect his body. Everyone, let's attack together. He was controlling the great dragon sword soul and also felt the pressure. However, this battle had to go on. At the same time, he had another thought. He was not afraid of the light of reincarnation. Whether it was Black Mountain or Immortal Scholar, although they could fight against the light of reincarnation, they could not. However, Lin Xian was confident that he could suppress the light of reincarnation. This was also the reason why he came up. And die for me. The reincarnation Saint King punched out, and Lin Xian felt immense pressure. He used the great sage pagoda to block, but his divine body was still shattered. However, in the next moment, his body quickly healed. At the same time, he roared. If they did not attack now, what were they waiting for? The other Saint Kings also took a deep breath. They were going to fight. These people attacked again. The 6 paths of reincarnation in the sky sealed the entire area and enveloped them. The terrifying reincarnation power could threaten them at any time. Indeed, even the Kunlun Saint King and Wushuang Saint King's bodies were shattered. They turned into a bloody mist. However, Lin Xian used the great dragon sword in time and destroyed the reincarnation power. Only then did he save these people. These Saint Kings calmed down a little and attacked even more crazily. The reincarnation Saint King's face turned cold. Spirit Saint King Yan's expression was also ugly. His body had already been broken twice. Fortunately, his opponent had not killed him. This allowed him to survive. However, he was still shocked. He said that the kid could fight against the 6 paths of reincarnation, and that they had to kill him first. Otherwise, they would lose their advantage. The reincarnation Saint King nodded. He naturally knew this, so he attacked Lin Xian with all his might. Lin Xian's divine body was shattered again. Even with the great sage pagoda, the reincarnation Saint King was too powerful. Chapter 44:18. An ant will always be an ant. Even if you have the great dragon's sword, you are still no match for me. The reincarnation protector revealed a cold smile. A person like you is not worthy of the great dragon sword. How dare you say such a thing? Lin Xian also laughed. You are a late-stage Saint King, and I am a mid-stage Saint Venerable. How many realms are there between us? You still haven't killed me yet. Do you think you have the face to say such a thing? Aren't you able to kill a Saint King with a single glance? Why can't you kill me? You are courting death. The reincarnation protector was stunned. Indeed, it was extremely easy for him to kill a Saint King. Now, Lin Xian was still alive. This was a slap to his face. He did not plan to do this again. Therefore, he planned to gather and form the light of reincarnation to completely kill Lin Xian. 3 light of reincarnation came charging over. It was earth-shattering, sweeping through everything. Not good. The Kunlun Saint King, the Wuji Saint King, and the others were extremely nervous. Below, Murong Qingcheng, Linghu Chueshue, and the others also held their breaths. As for Lin Xian, he snorted coldly. He fully activated his heavenly secret divine eyes. He did not dodge at all. In an instant, he began to absorb the 3 light of reincarnation into his eyes. The void, where Lin Xian was completely turned into nothingness. His figure was completely swallowed up. When the surrounding people saw this scene, they did not know whether Lin Xian was dead or alive. The reincarnation protector sneered. If you can survive, then I will. Before he finished speaking, he saw Lin Xian walk out from inside. How is this possible? The reincarnation protector was shocked. What is going on with these eyes? Why are they so mysterious? Lin Xian said, I will be responsible for blocking his light of reincarnation. All of you, attack. The battle erupted again. It was incomparable. This time, he finally lost his advantage. He was being attacked by so many Saint Kings. He roared crazily. There was also the immortal scholar and Black Mountain. Finally, he was injured. His body was penetrated. After being hit by dozens of laws, one of his arms was torn off. Blood flowed. He roared at the sky, and the 6 paths of reincarnation in the sky surged forward. Lin Xian used the great dragon sword soul to block the attack. Then, he fused with the power of those Saint Kings. The sword slashed forward. The 6 paths of reincarnation were actually cleaved apart by him. The reincarnation protector was also split in half by the sword. This scene was really too shocking. Yanling Saint King was dumbfounded and stood there in a daze. The reincarnation protector also roared towards the sky. Damn it, you guys have thoroughly angered me. Even if I have to sacrifice 3,000 years of my lifespan, I will still kill all of you. After he finished speaking, the laws on his body began to burn. It seemed like he was about to go all out. At the same time, the reincarnation pagoda flew out from the reincarnation valley and landed in his hand. Then he charged forward. Not good. The expressions of those Saint Kings changed. This was a heaven-shaking treasure. If Lin Xian was a Saint King, then controlling the great dragon sword would not be a problem. But now, Lin Xian was only a saint venerable. It was already very impressive that he could cleave apart the 6 paths of reincarnation. However, he probably could not compete with the reincarnation protector, who was going all out. As expected, Lin Xian also suffered a huge impact. He had already reached his limit by using the great dragon sword soul. If he used it again, his body would probably shatter. At this critical moment, a figure flew out from the void. It was an old man. As soon as he appeared, he formed a heavenly sound and descended towards the ground. 9 tribulations' divine melody, a terrifying aura spread down, and the terrifying laws of the great path formed one strange note after another. It directly blocked the terrifying reincarnation pagoda between heaven and earth. What was going on? Yen Ling Saint King was horrified, and the reincarnation protector's pupils constricted. He had already burned 3,000 years of his life, and was ready to fight to the death with the other party, to kill these Saint Kings. But now he was being suppressed by someone. Who was it? In the next moment he suddenly raised his head and saw an old man appear in the sky. It was him. The reincarnation protector exclaimed. Yen Ling Saint King was also stunned. He had seen this person before. Previously, he had seen this person at the Primordial Grotto Grand Meet. Peerless Saint King, and the others took a deep breath. Lin Xian exclaimed, Elder Xia. That's right, the person who had come was Xia Jiuyo. When he arrived, an extremely cold light burst out from his eyes. Reincarnation protector, you've crossed the line. You dare to teach me a lesson? Die for me. The reincarnation protector roared. Today he would make everyone die. He continued to burn his laws and life, and activated the reincarnation pagoda to kill his way out. Everyone was worried for Xia Jiuyo. Even Lin Xian was no exception. However, Xia Jiuyo sighed. He did not know whether he was dead or alive. In the next moment, a cold light burst out from his eyes. The heavens and earth shook. An extremely terrifying aura appeared before him. An illusory figure appeared. It was a guqin, and it carried a mysterious aura as it appeared before Xia Jiuyo. Then Xia Jiuyo gently played the guqin. With a loud boom, the heavens fell and the earth cracked. The reincarnation pagoda shattered into pieces. The reincarnation protector was also blasted apart, turning into a bloody mist. Yen Ling Saint King was also affected, and his body shattered. The surrounding people were stunned. Heavens, what had they just seen? So many Saint Kings had attacked together, but they had not hurt the reincarnation protector. But now, Xia Jiuyo had defeated him with a gentle move. This was truly inconceivable. What kind of existence was Xia Jiuyo? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He naturally knew that Xia Jiuyo was powerful. However, he was very worried about Xia Jiuyo's lifespan, because Xia Jiuyo was already very old. On the other side, He Shan's eyes flickered. Could it be him? He thought of a legendary person. In front of him, the mist of blood gathered under the reincarnation pagoda and formed the reincarnation protector. At this moment, the reincarnation protector's face was filled with fear. He no longer had the arrogance from before. He stared at Xia Jiuyo and asked, "Who are you? Could it be that you are?" As soon as he finished speaking, Xia Jiuyo played another guqin sound, and his body shattered again. Damn it! He was terrified and did not dare to be arrogant anymore. Run. He brought Yen Ling Saint King and quickly fled downwards. He wanted to enter the reincarnation valley. In the end, Xia Jiuyo cut off his path with a tune of the great Tao of heaven and earth. He could only escape to the other side. Yen Ling Saint King said, "Let's go to the Origin Ancient Mine. It's absolutely safe there." The two of them fled into the distance. On the other side, Xia Jiuyo snorted coldly. "Want to leave?" He strolled between heaven and earth and followed. It was the same for the other Saint Kings. Lin Xian and the other young disciples also followed. At this moment, everyone raised their heads and looked towards the sky. They felt two extremely powerful forces with the aura of reincarnation streaking across the sky. Behind them, there was an old man who was like a god strolling in the courtyard. Origin ancient mine. This was a land of death. No one dared to come here. However, at this moment, Yanling Saint King came. Not only that, but the reincarnation protector also came. After the two of them entered, Yanling Saint King's cold voice sounded. Humph, so what if you're strong? I don't believe you dare to come in. As expected, Xia Juyo played two heavenly tunes, but they were blocked by the power inside. They couldn't kill their way into the Origin ancient mine. Seeing this scene, Spirit Saint King Yanling laughed loudly. The reincarnation protector also snorted coldly. How dare you injure me? One day, I'll send all of you to hell. Chapter 44:19. Unparalleled Sacred King, and the others walked over with a frown. What should they do? This place's aura was extraordinary. Damn it, they were so close to killing Sacred King Yanling and subduing the reincarnation protector. But now, Xiajiu had gone into hiding. There was nothing they could do. If they missed this opportunity, they would have to wait another 500 years for the buried Emperor's Star Seal to open again. Thus, everyone was in despair. Lin Xian's expression was grave. Although he had the great dragon sword soul, it was impossible for him to conquer the primordium ancient mine with his current strength. Thus, there was nothing he could do. He looked at He Shan. He Shan also shook his head. At that moment, Xia Jiu coughed out a mouthful of blood. He sighed and said, "Let me do it." Then he looked at Jade Lake. He asked the Jade Lake sacred leader if he could borrow an imperial armament. The pupils of the Jade Lake's Saint Master contracted when she heard this, and the surrounding people were stunned. What did he mean? He wanted to use the ancient desolate tower? Even Lin Xian was shocked. His great dragon sword soul was also powerful, but only he could use it. If Xia Juyo wanted to use it, he had to give the power to him. But he couldn't withstand so much power. It seemed that Xia Juyo wanted to borrow an imperial armament. However, everyone was puzzled. Could Xia Juyo use an imperial armament? One must know that even for a sacred land, they would have to pay an enormous price in order to use an imperial armament. But Senior, your body, the Jade Lake's sacred leader, was also worried. Lin Xian also walked up and said, "Senior, why don't we think of another way?" However, Xia Jiu shook his head. "I'm already old. It doesn't make a difference whether I live a few more years or not. However, I want to do something for you guys before I die." This reincarnation protector was too arrogant. Also, did they really think that the primordium ancient mine was invincible? Today, I'll let them know that no one can be arrogant in this world. After saying that, he left with the Jade Lake sacred leader. Everyone was waiting anxiously. In the next moment, they felt a deep voice coming from the eastern wilderness. The sky of the eastern wilderness was completely shattered. An extremely terrifying aura spread out in all directions. At this moment, all the sacred grounds and family clans in the true spirit world raised their heads, their faces filled with fear. What kind of aura was that? How could it be so terrifying? Heavens, could it be that this is the aura of an extreme weapon? Was the dark battle from back then happening again? One had to know that extreme Dao weapons were generally capable of suppressing an entire region. He wouldn't use it. However, at that moment, someone was actually planning to use an extreme grade weapon. Furthermore, it would appear that he was not only using the might of an extreme grade weapon. He wanted to take away the extreme grade weapon completely. Sure enough, people from the Gu and Yi families were equally shocked. Their extreme weapons also let out earth-shaking noises. as if they were responding. The eyes of the members of the Yi clan flickered. Naturally, they had also received the news. Were they going to attack the Origin Ancient Mine? The person sleeping inside was not ordinary at all. After thinking about it, the Yi clan decided not to make a move. On the other side, the eyes of the Gu family flickered. Gu Feng snorted coldly. Did these people really want to attack? An elder of the Gu family walked over and said in a deep voice, Feng, you must not underestimate them. That Xia Jiuyo was an extremely terrifying figure. If it wasn't for the fact that he didn't have much lifespan left, he would definitely be able to sweep through everything. Now that he was going to consume his lifespan and use an extreme grade weapon, would the people in the Origin Ancient Mine be able to withstand it? After Gu Feng heard that, he was also stunned. He was powerful, but the people in the Deathland should not be ordinary either. Could it be that they couldn't defeat Xia Jiuyo? At that moment, another elder also walked out. If he was really so terrifying, he would have long unified the world. There were also restrictions on them inside. Even their lifespan was not as long as they had imagined. Therefore, as for whether they could truly counterattack, it was still unknown. Let's wait and see. Just as everyone was discussing, Xia Jiuyo brought the desolate tower over. The heavens fell, and the earth cracked. At that moment, he once again became the only one in the world. In an instant, he arrived at the Origin Ancient Mine. The void and earth around the Origin Ancient Mine were constantly shattering. Only the Death Land in front of him emitted an extremely terrifying aura as it resisted. At the same time, Spirit Saint King, who was in the Origin Ancient Mine, knelt on the ground in fright. The Reincarnation Protector beside him also used the Reincarnation Pagoda to resist with difficulty. However, he still couldn't resist it. In the next moment, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it, an extreme grade weapon. He could actually control an extreme grade weapon. This really shocked him. Even the existences in the divine crystals began to sway. Among them, there was an elder who looked like a skeleton. At that moment, he opened his eyes. His gaze seemed to have turned into a peerless divine sword that pierced through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. What was going on? Why did it attract the aura of an extreme grade weapon? In an instant, he received the news from Spirit Saint King. At the same time, outside the Origin Ancient Mine, Xia Jiuyo brought the desolate tower with him like a god. He said coldly, "The people inside, I'll give you one last chance. Do you want to fight, or do you want to agree to our request? I'll only give you half an incense stick's worth of time to consider." Damn it, damn it, the Reincarnation Protector roared. Spirit Saint King also said, "Ancestor, they've gone too far. How dare they behave so atrociously in our territory? Do you want it?" Before he could finish speaking, he was sent flying with a slap. "Trash! Who allowed you to target our Origin Ancient Mine with this kind of great emperor power? I've just recovered my power, and haven't recovered yet. Do you think I have a long lifespan? Stupid thing, you don't have the right to live anymore." "No. Ancestor, please spare me. I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again." Spirit Saint King Yenling was thoroughly terrified. He thought that their ancestor would fight the other party head-on. Who would have thought that their ancestor would actually admit defeat? The Reincarnation Protector's face was also cold. He said, "Don't worry, Senior. If you attack this time, I'll definitely contact the people of the buried Emperor Star and get them to provide you with all kinds of natural treasures." However, after he finished speaking, he felt a gaze that seemed to be piercing through him. "You're just a puny spirit saint. What right do you have to be arrogant in front of me? How dare you speak while standing? If it wasn't for the person behind you, you would have died 10,000 times already," the elder said coldly. Then he waved his hand and directly sealed the two of them and threw them out. In the next moment, everyone saw 2 figures fly out and kneel in the air. Then, A voice sounded from the primordium ancient mine. I don't want to fight with you. I also hope that you won't use your imperial weapon. Everything that happened before had nothing to do with me. It was all that idiot Spirit St. King's own actions. Now, I'll kill him and let you all calm down. After saying that, a power shot out and directly enveloped Spirit St. King. In the end, Spirit St. King turned into a bloody mist. His wandering soul was destroyed. Even his soul did not escape. Everyone was terrified. Oh my God, this primordium ancient mine was too terrifying. One had to know that Spirit St. King was a mid-stage Spirit St. King. He could fight several ordinary Spirit St. Kings alone. They could not defeat him. But now, the other party could kill such an existence with a single ray of light. It seemed that the other party's strength was definitely above that of a Spirit St. King. It had even reached an unimaginable level. It was no wonder that this place was called the Land of Death. The voice sounded again. As for the Reincarnation Protector, I won't care. You can do whatever you want with him. After saying that, the primordium ancient mine was actually sealed. The Reincarnation Protector's expression became incomparably ugly. Damn it, he was actually abandoned by someone. In the next moment, when he felt the power of the weapon in the sky, he almost fainted from fright. Although he had the Reincarnation Pagoda, he was simply unable to fight against an extreme weapon. Therefore, he hurriedly said, "Stop, I agree to your conditions. I'll open the reincarnation passage and send you all away." Chapter 44:20. What a joke! If he didn't lower his head, the other party's imperial weapon would be unleashed. He couldn't block it. Probably no one would be able to stop him. Therefore, he could only beg for mercy. Very well, then you can open the Reincarnation Valley. I'll only give you half a day. After saying that, the Reincarnation Protector quickly left. He wanted to reopen the Reincarnation Valley. At the same time, Xia Jiu looked around and said coldly, since he had already taken out the imperial weapon, he had to let it unleash some of its power. After saying that, he formed a seal with his palm and slammed it forward. Huang unleashed countless extreme Dao might. It flew in all directions. At this moment, countless experts in the world were torn apart. There were even sage kings that died. Everyone was terrified. They thought that it was the end of the world. However, Lin Xian and the others knew that this was killing. The mortal realm, Xia Jiu, was attacking the experts of the mortal realm. Sure enough, those who died were all experts of the mortal realm. However, he only killed sage kings and sage venerables. This was enough. It was definitely a heavy blow to the mortal realm. Sure enough, the remaining people also went into hiding. They probably wouldn't come out of the mortal realm for the next few thousand years. As for Xia Jiu, he returned the imperial weapon to the Jade Lake's sacred ground. He returned to the divine palace by himself. Everyone was worried and followed him. When they saw Xia Jiu in the divine palace, their pupils shrank. It was the same for Lin Xian, whose face had turned extremely ugly, because the current Xia Jiu was hundreds of years older than before. It was as if he had one foot in the grave. Old Xia, Lin Xian's heart ached. He knew that Xia Jiu was burning his life force to unleash the imperial weapon in order to help them. He couldn't repay this kindness. Every sage king released their power, wanting to help Xia Jiu maintain it. However, Xia Jiu said that it was useless. The heavenly Tao reincarnation was gone. Someone could escape. All right, all of you can leave. Go and make your final preparations. The buried emperor star might not be simple. There might be new dangers. I can no longer help you. The sage kings nodded and bowed respectfully to Xia Jiu. Senior, we will remember this in our hearts. Then They quickly left, leaving only Lin Xian behind. Lin Xian took out many spirit medicines and rare treasures and placed them there. Xia Jiu said, I know you are worried, but my lifespan is almost up. These things are useless. Now, I have something to pass on to you. That is the supreme technique that I created in my lifetime, the 9 Tribulations Divine Melody. Lin Xian shook his head. No, Elder Xia, you're already very weak. It was better for him to rest quickly. By the way, Elder Xia, I have something for you as well. I hope it will be helpful to you. Since these natural treasures were useless, Lin Xian decided to think of another way. After all, Xia Jiu had given him the sacred palace and provided him with great assistance. In fact, he even wanted to impart his lifelong knowledge to him. Lin Xian was unable to return the favor. He said, Senior, I once obtained a treasure by chance called the Eye of Time. I think he might be useful to you. Xia Jiu was stunned when he heard this. The Eye of Time? I didn't expect you to be so lucky. Have you heard of it? Xia Jiu nodded. Lin Xian gave the Eye of Time to Xia Jiu. Xia Jiu gave the 9 Tribulations Divine Melody to Lin Xian and said, This 9 Tribulations Divine Melody is the cultivation technique that I created in my lifetime. If I really die, help me pass on this cultivation technique. No one could live forever. Everyone would die. However, he could use another method to live. For example, they could pass on their peerless cultivation technique. Xia Jiu's life's supreme technique was the 9 Tribulations Divine Melody. It was very terrifying. A single immortal sound could split the reincarnation protector. One could imagine how terrifying it was. After Lin Xian received it, his expression turned solemn. Senior, don't worry. I will not disgrace your supreme technique. You may encounter new dangers after entering the Tibetan Earth Star. I will now help you activate the prelude to the divine melody and help you establish your foundation. Next, you will have to rely on yourself. Xia Jiu attacked. Endless sounds of the great Tao appeared around him, as if it had turned into a world of immortals. It enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt a wondrous aura. It was as if the surrounding great Tao had become simple. He could obtain it at any time. This was truly too shocking. It was as if he had entered a very wondrous realm. After an unknown amount of time, the sounds of the great Tao in the surroundings slowly disappeared. As for Xia Jiu, he vomited a few more mouthfuls of blood, making him look even older. Lin Xian said, Old Xia, you can't use your strength anymore. Xia Jiu said, I'm really old. I've already helped you establish the foundation of the divine melody. When you reach the buried Emperor Star, go find someone called Wentian. He can help you. Wentian? Lin Xian was surprised. Who is this person? Xia Jiu said, It's a little fellow I saved back then. I don't know how much he has grown. All right, go quickly. The reincarnation valley should have already opened. Lin Xian nodded solemnly. Then he personally opened the divine crystal and sealed Xia Jiu. Then he left. After leaving, he asked He Shan if there was any way to help Xia Jiu. He Shan thought for a moment and said, His lifespan is reaching its end. It's a normal cycle of death. Under normal circumstances, it was impossible to save him. Of course, there were other methods. For example, the undying divine medicine. That thing could allow great emperors to live a second life. Others could naturally do the same. However, it was truly too rare. Only great emperors or extremely terrifying existences could possess it. Others simply couldn't obtain it. Or perhaps you can only find some extremely old medicines to maintain his life. However, that wasn't a solution. What if a remnant soul like you was resurrected? Lin Xian asked. He knew that under normal circumstances, He Shan should have died. However, he had used a peculiar method to come back alive. He Shan said, It's too difficult. Furthermore, it's a 90% chance of survival. It's purely a coincidence that I was able to come back alive. Furthermore, I can't be considered to have truly come back alive. That's because I'm not completely dead. My remnant soul is still a soul. Indeed, He Shan's situation was different from Xia Jiuyo's. Lin Xian thought for a moment, and then said, "If I have the power of time, I can reverse the flow of time. Then, can I restore Xia Jiuyo?" Lin Xian still had a few eyes of time. Those were all life-saving means. Death could be reborn. He Shan nodded and said, "In theory, yes. However, it depends on how strong your power of time is. Generally, the power of time was very mysterious. Those who could master it were even rarer. If you didn't master it well, it would be useless. If you want to resurrect Xia Jiuyo, you have to find an expert with the power of time on par with him. Otherwise, it would be useless. It could only prolong his lifespan. There was no fundamental change. There were only a few possibilities for him to have a fundamental change. First, his cultivation base would break through, and his lifespan would increase. It seemed that this step was impossible for him. Second, the undying divine medicine could allow him to live a second life. It was also very difficult. Of course, there are two other possibilities. The first is the power of time that you mentioned. Find a strong enough power of time to continue. For example, the legendary space-time sword. Chapter 44:21. Lin Xian took a deep breath after hearing that. Each of these things was extremely difficult, but he decided to find them and help Xia Jiuyo. All right, let's go. Perhaps the buried emperor. Star has all of these things. Lin Xian took a deep breath and left with the others. When they arrived at the Reincarnation Valley, they found that it had opened again. The Reincarnation Protector stood there and said with a cold expression, "You can go in." He kept forming seals with his palms. The Reincarnation Pagoda in front of him bloomed with light, forming the 6 paths of reincarnation. Countless runes appeared in the surroundings. It seemed to be breaking the seal. Soon he said, "Yes, peerless sacred king," and the others said, "Let's go." Other than Lin Xian and the others, a portion of the sacred kings also wanted to go. Logically speaking, the Reincarnation Protector would definitely stop them. However, he did not dare to do so now. These people could go if they wanted to. If they really angered the Emperor's soldier, even 100 lives would not be enough. Moreover, did these people really think that they could be free after reaching the buried Emperor's star? He sneered in his heart. In the future, these people would know what despair was. A portion of the sacred kings stayed here. Since most of the human realm had been destroyed, there should not be much danger in the second astral realm. Therefore, they did not leave with them. As for those who left, they wanted to see how mystical the buried Emperor's star was. Moreover, they might want to pursue a higher path of the martial Tao. Just like that, the group walked into the Reincarnation Pagoda. Heaven and earth were reversed, and the sun and moon rotated. After an unknown period of time, they finally felt that the situation had stabilized. Next, they walked out and found that they were in a valley. It was similar to the Reincarnation Valley. Could it be that they had already arrived at the buried Emperor's star? These people looked around curiously. Lin Xian also carefully sensed. In the next moment, he felt that the aura here was indeed vaster than the true spirit world. There were even many kinds of extremely terrifying pressure. It came from different directions. It gave off an illusory feeling, like an extreme weapon. It should be the place where the Emperor had fallen. "Let's go." The group walked over. Suddenly, peerless sacred king frowned. Wait. The Kunlun Holy King also said that something was wrong. There seemed to be the auras of other holy kings in the surroundings. Damn it. Could there be someone waiting for us? From the looks of it, it wasn't good news. Everyone, be careful. We're not familiar with this place, so we can't be careless. Lin Xian and the others nodded and carefully flew forward. You're finally here. I've been waiting for you for a long time. At this moment, a cold voice came from the front. Upon hearing this, Lin Xian, peerless holy king, and the others stopped what they were doing. They looked to the front, and their faces turned extremely cold. Suddenly, a saint king walked over from the front. The other party's aura was incomparably terrifying. There were various great daos intertwining beneath his feet. He stood there like a godly king with a cold smile on his face. Come with us. Where to? Kunlun Holy King frowned. That sage king coldly snorted. Now that you've arrived at the buried Emperor's Star, you'll naturally have to follow us to the heavenly paradise. What's wrong? Are you guys unwilling? These people's faces turned cold. Lin Xian's eyes flickered with a golden light as he looked around. Then he said coldly, if I follow you to the heavenly paradise, do I need to set up an inescapable net? There were at least 3 peerless formations around them. When these words came out, the other people's faces changed. 3 formations. What were these people trying to do? Were they trying to catch them all in one fell swoop? The Sage King also looked at Lin Xian. Brat, I didn't expect that a mere sacred venerate like you would be able to see through the formations. You've really surprised me, as expected of people who were able to come to the buried Emperor's Star. They were indeed people with top-notch talent. If people like you are properly nurtured, you might become very good puppets. Hearing the word puppet, everyone exclaimed. A genius from the 7-star pavilion said, What does a puppet mean? Aren't you going to take us in as your disciples? Ha ha! At this moment, the Sage King in front sneered. With just you guys? You guys are indeed talented to be able to come here. However, there are so many geniuses in the buried Emperor's Star. Does our heavenly paradise lack geniuses? At most, you guys will become our battle servants and puppets. Damn it! Damn it! These people's faces became incomparably ugly. They had gone through untold hardships to come to the buried Emperor's Star. They didn't expect that they would be treated like this. One must know that whether it was in the 2nd-star realm or the true spirit world, they were the most dazzling existences. However, in this place they could only become puppets. What a joke! The Crimson Dragon also coldly snorted. What if we don't agree? If we don't agree, we'll die. The Sage King also roared and waved his hand. Instantly, more than 10 figures appeared around him. They were all Sage Kings. There were even more sacred venerates appearing in the distance. They blotted out the sky and covered the earth. How could there be so many people? The limitless Sage King and the others' faces became incomparably ugly. How were they going to fight? The peerless Sage King took a deep breath. Do you guys want to be puppets? If you don't want to, then we can only fight with our backs against the wall. Everyone, we've already come this far. We won't just admit defeat like this, right? The other Sage Kings said. Naturally, they wouldn't. Their eyes also burst out with a biting cold radiance. All right, let's fight then. The Kunlun Sage King also walked out and looked at He Shan. Fellow Taoist, please break the formation. We'll lead our people to fight against these Sage Kings. As for the other disciples, they would take the opportunity to leave quickly. Soon, everyone came up with a plan. He Shan formed hand seals and began to attack the 3 great formations. His attainments in formations were terrifying. Therefore, no one was worried. As for the Sage Kings, they roared and walked forward. As for Lin Xian and the others, they were preparing to break out of the encirclement and escape. A bunch of ants actually want to fight against us? You guys don't know what's good for you. In front, the Sage Kings of the buried Emperor's Star sneered. Then the leader waved his hand. The others also rushed over. A terrifying battle between Sage Kings broke out once again. In an instant, a terrifying aura spread out in all directions. Lin Xian and the others moved quickly. They also quickly flew in all directions. The sacred venerates in the distance charged over. Do you guys want to leave? These were all peak sacred venerates. Their strength was extremely terrifying. In their opinion, they were the people of the buried Emperor's Star, while these people had just arrived. No matter how terrifying they were in other worlds, they would be easily suppressed in their world. But soon, they realized that they were wrong. For example, two old men came to Lin Xian's side and said coldly, "Stop. Little brat, stop. You seem to know a lot about formations, so I can let you live." However, Lin Xian punched out. That old man shouted angrily, "You're courting death." He also attacked forcefully, wanting to suppress Lin Xian. In an instant, he collided with the man ruler seal. Then, there was a cracking sound. His body was torn apart. How is this possible? He was stunned. His soul wanted to escape. In the end, he was instantly suppressed by the Taiji diagram, and his soul was destroyed. His other companion was also dumbfounded. Didn't this guy come from another backward world? How could he be so powerful? He could suppress the experts of the buried Emperor's Star with just one attack. Damn it, he has a treasure on him. The old man roared and took out a sage artifact. It was a sage saber. It bloomed with radiance and slashed down. It caused the world to change. As for Lin Xian, he sneered and struck out with the mountain-embracing seal. It descended from the sky and turned the old man into nothingness. After easily dealing with these two people, Lin Xian and the others continued forward. It was the same in other places. For example, Chao Tiansheng, Murong Qingcheng, Shenjingqiu Linghuchui Xue, and the others all displayed extremely powerful strength. This caused the sacred venerates of the buried Emperor's Star to be in disbelief. Chapter 44:22. Of course, not everyone was as powerful as Lin Xian, who could kill the experts of the buried Emperor's Star. In fact, the experts of the buried Emperor's Star were very terrifying. Most people could not resist them. They could only join hands. However, there were many people on the buried Emperor's Star. Thus, a great battle broke out. Soon, some people died. The battle on the Sacred King's side was the same. Soon, some Sacred Kings were injured. The seven-star Sacred King was injured, and his body was torn apart. On the other side, the peerless Sacred King was also sent flying while vomiting blood. Master Linghuchui Xue and the others' eyes turned red. Lin Xian's pupils also shrank. The peerless Sacred King had been poisoned by the despair poison. Although he was suppressed by the extreme Dao might, he was not in his peak state. That was why he was injured in the fight. "Don't come over. Quickly leave." The peerless Sacred King and the others shouted. They attacked even more crazily. "Let's go." Lin Xian and the others roared. They gritted their teeth and quickly attacked. The peerless Sacred King and the others gave them an opportunity. They could not give up. However, there were too many people on the buried Emperor's Star, an inescapable net. Therefore, in the end, these people were scattered. Lin Xian, Murong Qingcheng, Shenjingqiu, and the others also separated. He was attacked from all directions. He roared towards the sky, and a terrifying power swept through everything. However, he was unable to meet up with the others. "Big Brother Xian, don't worry. Let's leave this place and meet up later." Murong Qingcheng transmitted his voice. Shenjingqiu also nodded. They all had trump cards and secret techniques. Thus, they were not worried. Lin Xian was the same. Since that was the case, they would charge out first. Ka, ka, ka. Under He Shan's attack, cracks finally appeared on the three great arrays. "Quickly leave." Countless people rushed in all directions. As for the buried Emperor's Star's experts, they coldly snorted. "You want to escape in front of us? With just you? They roared and used an inescapable net to chase after them again. Everyone was fleeing. However, some people were quickly caught up. They were either suppressed or killed. His astral soul was destroyed, and his blood dyed the 9 heavens red. Lin Xian did not leave immediately. Originally, he wanted to leave, but he saw that Peerless Holy King's situation was very bad. Previously, Peerless Sage King had the help of Wuji Sage King and Kunlun Sage King, but in the end, these 2 Saint Kings were also surrounded by the powerhouses and could only fight for themselves. With that, Peerless Saint King's situation became even worse. Su Chun activated the Void Escape and appeared near Peerless Holy King. He used the Grand Sage Pagoda to block the attack for him. Then, he quickly left with Peerless Holy King. Junior brother, hurry up and leave. I can still hold on. Peerless Sacred King gritted his teeth as he unleashed the devouring precept. Lin Xian shook his head and walked with him. As he spoke, he controlled the dragon-shaped sword chi and tore through the void. A Saint King led a team and chased after them. In his opinion, Peerless Saint King was severely injured. Lin Xian was not a Saint King. Therefore, a single Saint King was enough. Moreover, he had brought a powerful team with him. There were 2 half-step kings and 5 peak Saint Venerables among them. It could be said that they were extremely powerful. Those 2 would definitely not be able to escape. He followed them all the way. This guy actually knew the spatial mystique. The Saint King was shocked. He realized that Lin Xian appeared and disappeared like a ghost. Every time he tore through the void, he would escape. This greatly surprised him. The spatial mystique was extremely rare. Finally, they arrived at a deserted mountain range. The 2 landed and heaved a sigh of relief. Great, they should be able to escape from them. Peerless Saint King's face was pale. It was obvious that he could no longer suppress the poison of despair. He no longer used his strength. Instead, he used his extreme danger to suppress it. At the same time, he wondered how the others were doing. How many would be able to escape in the end? Indeed, Lin Xian was also worried. Other than a few elite powerhouses, those with trump cards like him would be able to escape. The others would probably be suppressed. Probably not many Saint Kings would be able to escape. Are you still worried about others? You should worry about yourselves first. At this moment, a cold voice rang out. Lin Xian and Peerless Saint King's pupils constricted. Were they discovered? They suddenly raised their heads and saw the Saint King in the sky, who was wearing battle armor, walking in the air, and laughing coldly. There were a few figures following behind him, and they also had cold smiles on their faces. They formed an inescapable net, enveloping Lin Xian and Peerless Saint King. Be obedient and surrender. You won't be able to escape. Damn it, if I wasn't poisoned, how could I let him be so arrogant? Peerless Saint King gritted his teeth. Indeed, although this person from the buried Emperor Star was powerful, he was not someone to be trifled with. However, the poison of despair in his body prevented him from using his full strength. Is he going to use his trump card? Lin Xian's face darkened. There was a terrifying aura in his eyes. However, when he used his heavenly secret divine eyes to look around, he frowned. This was because he discovered that there were other people around. Even if he could kill this Saint King in that case, would he be able to kill the others? How many times could he use the great dragon sword soul? Therefore, he said, I'll go with you. However, you have to let my senior brother go. You want me to let a Saint King go? What a joke. The Saint King in the sky sneered. Also, who do you think you are? How dare you make such a request in front of me? I'm a top genius from another world. If I join you, I'll be of great use to you. Moreover, I'm proficient in formations. I'll be of great help to you. If you don't plan on letting anyone go, I won't go with you. Hearing this, the other party laughed. Kid, aren't you overestimating yourself? So what if you're a genius? Do you think we lack geniuses? When Lin Xian heard this, he was not angry. He looked at one of the half-step Saint Kings and waved his hand. Come here. Do you want to die? That half-step Saint King was instantly enraged. This kid was provoking them. What a joke. His opponent was only a mid-stage Saint Venerable. However, the Saint King in the armor said, "Go ahead and fight him. Don't hold back. If he can't block your attack, then he's a piece of trash. It won't be a pity even if he dies." Yes, the half-step Saint King nodded. Then he sneered, "Kid, you're courting death. You can't blame me." He walked out, and the power in his body continued to surge. The others all sneered. To them, this was a battle without any suspense. However, Lin Xian disappeared in an instant. When he reappeared, he was already in front of his opponent. This scene caused everyone to be shocked. Spatial superpower. His opponent actually knew such a technique. The half-step Saint King was also stunned. Then he sneered, "Useless kid. You can't even break through my defense. Go to hell." He slapped out. Indeed, he did not hold back this time. A half-step Saint King could defeat any Saint Venerable. However, Lin Xian's man-ruler print directly slapped his opponent's arm. With a crack, his opponent's arm turned into a bloody mist. He flew backward. Then half of his body shattered. Chapter 44-23. The buried emperor's men were stunned. A half-step holy king was severely injured just like that. Lin Xian retracted his palm and laughed coldly. "What a piece of trash. You can't even block one of my attacks." Then he looked at the war armor holy king and said coldly, "What do you think? Am I valuable now?" The war armor holy king stopped laughing. He was really shocked. How could there be such a powerful expert in other worlds, even in the buried emperor's world? This person would be a dazzling existence. He had fought with someone who was a few levels higher than him and even won. Such a genius was rare. If he could bring such a person back to the grotto heaven, it would be a great contribution. So he nodded. "This kid is arrogant. But you do have the right to be arrogant." "Very well. I agree to your conditions. Let him go." "Holy King," the surrounding people exclaimed. The war armor holy king snorted coldly. "What? You dare to go against my words?" The others felt numb and shook their heads. They did not dare to go against the holy king. The war armor holy king said indifferently, "This person obviously could not use his full strength. It meant that he was severely injured. Such a person would not be able to recover. Even if he was alive, he would not be a threat to us. I can exchange him for a peerless genius. Don't you think it's worth it?" After saying that, he stared at the unparalleled holy king and sneered. "I can let you go, but this saint artifact of yours will be mine." Then he grabbed the unparalleled holy sword. The unparalleled holy king's face darkened. How could he let his opponent take his weapon away? So he tried to block it. However, he was too injured and could not block it. In an instant, his unparalleled sword was caught. Then, that person slapped unparalleled Saint King's body, sending unparalleled Saint King flying. His laughter rang out in the air. Lin Xian's eyes turned red in an instant as an extremely cold, killing intent appeared in his eyes. But soon it disappeared. He knew that it was not the right time. He quickly transmitted a message. "Senior brother, you should leave first and recover. Don't worry about me. They won't kill me. Also, I will avenge you today. I will not let this person go. I will make him regret what he has done today." Lin Xian was completely enraged. He took a deep breath and asked the people in front of him, "How should I address you?" "My name is Holy Monarch Stardust," the battle armor Saint King said calmly. Then he stared at Lin Xian and smiled. Lin Xian said, "Star Saint King, right? What you did to my senior brother today. In the future, I will definitely return it 100-fold. Hearing these words, the people of Buried Emperor's Star were stunned. Is he challenging a Saint King? Was this guy tired of living? Sacred King Xing Chun was also taken aback before he burst into laughter. Brat, you are very courageous. You actually dared to release your killing intent towards me. How dare you threaten me? However, I won't kill you. I want to see how you're going to pay me back 100-fold. Even if you cultivate for another 1,000 years, you will never be my opponent. Sacred King Xing Chun was not worried. Although Lin Xian's talent was extremely strong, so what? People from other worlds who entered their heavenly abode were puppets. No matter how strong they would never be able to do anything to them. Therefore, he was not worried at all. Come with me. The Holy Star Monarch waved his hand and unleashed a sky full of starlight that enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian did not resist. Since he had already decided to return with the other party, he would not go back on his word. Moreover, he wanted to return and stay by this person's side. He swore that he would personally deal with this person, and it would not take too long. Junior brother. In the distant void, Peerless Saint King gritted his teeth when he saw this scene. Damn it! He did not expect that he would be in such a situation when he came to Buried Emperor's Star. He could only leave and recuperate from his injuries. Then he would kill his way back. A vortex appeared in the Devour Law and enveloped his body. Then he disappeared between heaven and earth. As for the other Saint Kings, some died and some were captured. Only a small number of them managed to escape. It was the same for the young disciples. However, Lin Xian did not know any of this. Lin Xian was enveloped by endless stars after an unknown amount of time. Finally, he felt it stop. These people quickly descended. Then, the stars on his body turned into seals that enveloped his body to prevent him from escaping. Lin Xian had no intention of escaping. He looked around curiously. This was the legendary heavenly abode. The so-called heavenly abode was actually a sect. It was just that the name was different. After Lin Xian arrived, he also knew why this sect was called Heavenly Abode, because there was a cave in front of him that looked very simple and unadorned. However, when he entered the cave, it was a completely different world. It was as if it was a new world, incomparably vast, endless mountains and rivers, all kinds of spirit veins and spirit springs intertwined. So this was Heavenly Abode. Lin Xian felt that there were many Saint King auras here. Obviously, the martial Tao in this place was much stronger than the true spirit world and the second astral realm, because in the second astral realm, the Saint King was the Lord of the Saint City, an existence that swept through heaven and earth. But it seemed that here they were only at the elder level. I wonder what kind of existence is at the top here. Is it a supreme saint or above? Greetings, Elder Xing Chun. Along the way, many people looked at Elder Xing Chun and quickly bowed. Although there were many Saint Kings here, they were not cabbages. Those who could become Saint Kings were at least at the elder level. As they bowed and greeted, they looked at Lin Xian curiously. Could it be that this was the newly recruited puppet? Saint King Xing Chun said to the people behind him, "All right, you guys go and inquire about how the rest are doing. Leave this kid to me. Follow me." Saint King Xing Chun said to Lin Xian. Lin Xian followed him into the heavenly abode. Along the way, they passed through many formations and finally arrived. In a mountain range, there was a lake in front of them. Saint King Xing Chun walked over and said respectfully to the lake, "I seek an audience with Elder Shui Wei." As his voice fell, after a while, the lake in front of them slowly split open. It formed a passage. Saint King Xing Chun led Lin Xian inside. After entering, the lake on both sides healed again. Lin Xian went to the bottom of the lake. He found that there was indeed a different world inside. At the same time, he felt a terrifying aura in front of him. Obviously, the Saint King inside was very terrifying. That aura felt no weaker than the reincarnation protector. Could it be a late-stage Saint King? As expected, Sacred Star Monarch was also very respectful as he stepped forward. He went forward and greeted Elder Shuewe. In front, a woman turned her head. It was a middle-aged woman wearing a blue Taoist robe. Her eyes were like the moon, carrying a mysterious light as she looked over. Chapter 44:24. Was this person the puppet this time? Why was he alone? Where were the others? Elder Shuewe. This time, the people from the other world were very strong. They actually broke the formation and escaped. We split up and suppressed them. I suppressed them. This person is very extraordinary. Although he is only a mid-stage Saint Venerable, he injured a half-step Saint King with his own strength. Oh, Elder Shuewe was also stunned after hearing this. Then a cold light appeared in her eyes. You said he was a peerless genius? That's right. Saint King Xing Chen nodded. Elder Shuewe said, I have to test it myself. As he spoke, a ray of moonlight appeared in his eyes. It slashed over like a heavenly blade. This power was suppressed to the strength of a half-step Saint King. Obviously, she wanted to test Lin Xian's strength. Was it that strong? Lin Xian used the man-ruler seal and directly charged over, shattering the ray of moonlight. He did not hold back because he knew that if he wanted to survive in such a place, he had to show great talent and strength. As expected, Elder Shuewe's eyes lit up. He was indeed a top genius. Xing Chun, you did well this time. When the time comes, you will definitely be rewarded. Saint King Xing Chun smiled. Thank you, Elder Shuewe. Elder Shuewe nodded. I will use the life and death curse on him now. Then Saint King Xing Chun left. Only Lin Xian was left. Elder Shuewe in front of him kept forming seals with her palms. An extremely terrifying aura spread out. It formed a very mysterious rune in her hand and then floated in the lake water. She caught it with a bowl and said, Drink it, life and death curse. Just by hearing the name, it seemed to be able to control the life and death of others. Su Chen took a deep breath. This was the method that the other party used to control him. After receiving it, he drank it. The next moment, he felt that the rune was quickly working in his body. It was like his soul imprint, able to make others submit to him in their souls. What a terrifying method. Okay, you stay here for 3 days. Wait for the life and death curse to merge with you before you leave. Lin Xian nodded and sat down cross-legged. It seemed like he was waiting for the fusion. At the same time, he quickly mobilized the great dragon sword soul in his body to destroy the power of the life and death curse. He used his full strength because he only had 3 days to do so. After 3 days, it would be even more troublesome to kill them. The power of the great dragon sword spirit was indeed very strong. In 3 days, the power of the life and death curse was destroyed. As for Lin Xian, just in case, he used the great dragon sword soul to create a fake life and death curse to prevent the other party from probing. 3 days later, he stood up and respectfully greeted Elder Shuewe. Elder Shuewe nodded. Very well, you can go. In the future, pledge your loyalty to us. Thousand Mountain Grotto, I will help you become a Saint King as soon as possible. He did not have the slightest doubt because, in his opinion, even a Saint King of the same level would not be able to undo his life and death curse, let alone a Saint Venerable. No one had ever been able to escape the control of the life and death curse, which was why he didn't investigate. But little did he know that Lin Xian was an exception. Lin Xian was the successor of the great dragon sword spirit. Lin Xian turned and walked out, leaving the bottom of the lake. The corners of his mouth, curled up into a smile, but he quickly returned to normal. His expression became cold. Then someone brought Lin Xian away. He temporarily settled down. He waited for the mission. During this time, Lin Xian also learned that this grotto was called Thousand Mountain Grotto. It was one of the overlords of this area. This area was very vast, and there were a total of 6 grotto heavens. Thousand Mountain Grotto was one of them. But where exactly was this buried Emperor's star? What were the top sects on the buried Emperor's star? Lin Xian did not know any of this. However, he believed that the longer he stayed here, the more he would learn about it. He just did not know which holy city was connected to the Thousand Mountain Grotto and the second astral realm. Also, were these grotto heavens related to the human realm? Lin Xian was also very curious. After that, Lin Xian received the order to go and cultivate. Hence, he followed the order. The Thousand Mountain Grotto was very vast, and it was not an exaggeration to say that it was a world. Therefore, there were all kinds of cultivation resources. This time, he went to a valley to cultivate. In the valley, there were pavilions, terraces, and pavilions. Obviously, there were many spirit veins below. There were even dragon veins. One had to admit that the resources on the buried Emperor's star were really good. No wonder there were so many experts and geniuses here. Before entering the valley, Lin Xian felt many terrifying auras coming from inside. There were even people. Obviously, he was not the only one cultivating here. Kid, go in. The person leading him was a young man. At this moment, he had an impatient expression. Lin Xian ignored him and walked in. Seeing Lin Xian's attitude, the young man sneered. He was really courting death. Did he think that he was a high and mighty genius from another world? Here, he was just an ant in the mud. Just wait. Soon, this kid would know the meaning of despair. He did not leave. Instead, he stood there and waited, watching the show. Indeed, when Lin Xian entered the valley, countless gazes in the valley turned to look at him. Then, they looked at Lin Xian. Their eyes shone with a biting cold light. Lin Xian also looked over and found that there were many people here. Moreover, they were all young and their auras were very powerful. They were all Saint Venerables, and many of them were peak Saint Venerables. Wait, just as Lin Xian wanted to continue walking in and find a place to cultivate, a cold voice sounded. Lin Xian stopped and looked over with a frown. Soon he saw someone walk over and block his path. Kid, I haven't seen you before. Are you new? Lin Xian nodded. That person was stunned. He was really new. Which world did he come from? In the true spirit world, Lin Xian said indifferently. Hearing this, the others were also shocked. The person who blocked the way was also stunned. The true spirit world was not an ordinary place, but soon he smiled. Since he was new, he would do things according to the rules and hand over the things. What things? Lin Xian frowned. That person sneered. Of course, it's the things in your storage ring. It's your first day here, and you haven't brought anything to show your filial piety to us. Show your filial piety? Lin Xian's face darkened. Who do you think you are? Is there such a rule in the Thousand Mountain Cave? Lin Xian was thoroughly angry. That man was also angry. Kid, you are very arrogant. Is it so great to come from the true spirit world? So what if you are a top genius in the true spirit world? You have been planted with a life and death curse here. Then you are a battle servant, a puppet. You are the most inferior existence. Everyone is the same. What right do you have to be arrogant in front of me? It seems that I have to teach you a lesson today and let you know the rules here. Chapter 44:25. This man gave off a terrifying aura. He was a late-stage holy venerate. At this moment, he wanted to show his strength to Lin Xian. The others also looked like they were watching a show. After Lin Xian heard that, he frowned. Everyone was the same? That meant that these people were also combat servants. Xiao Chen originally thought that they were disciples of the Thousand Mountain Paradise. He did not expect them to be people from other worlds that were forced to suppress them. There were already so many combat servants. Furthermore, they were so strong. This Thousand Mountain Paradise was really horrifying. However, if the other party wanted to show his strength, he probably found the wrong person. Xiao Chen said coldly, "Scram. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." "Rude? Let's see how rude you are going to be." That man also became angry. Countless terrifying flames appeared on his body, as if they wanted to burn the 9 heavens. Although they were combat servants and had been cursed with life and death, they could not control themselves. However, aside from being controlled by the people of the Thousand Mountain Paradise, they were like ordinary people. They also had their own conflicts. Hence, this person wanted to make a move at this moment. Lin Xian looked at the other party and said coldly, "Since you don't know the difference between life and death, I'll fulfill your wish." As Xiao Chen spoke, he threw a palm strike. "You are seeking death." That person also threw a punch over. The surrounding people sneered. Lin Xian, a middle-stage holy venerate, wanted to challenge a late-stage holy venerate? What a joke. The people here were all geniuses who could fight above their cultivation level. This newcomer was probably going to be unlucky. However, the result surprised them. This was because they discovered that Lin Xian was not injured at all after that attack. As for the man from before, he exploded, turning into a bloody mist. Frenzied roars could be heard. The expressions of the surrounding people changed. "Damn, it's even an expert." Immediately, 2 people walked over, not knowing the immensity of heaven and earth. Both of them were late-stage holy venerates. When the 2 of them worked together, their strength was even more terrifying. However, Lin Xian blasted both of them apart with one punch. Bloody mist spread out as horrifying roars rang out. The person outside the valley was stunned. Originally, he wanted to see how Lin Xian would be unlucky. However, he did not see it. He did not expect Lin Xian to be so powerful. At the same time, he saw 6 or 7 figures standing up around him. They all walked towards Lin Xian. These guys couldn't be thinking of attacking, right? If they really fought, the entire valley would probably be destroyed. He quickly took out the token and transmitted his voice. 6 figures walked out and said coldly, "Kid, you're too arrogant. It seems that you are very strong. But can you resist the 6 of us attacking at the same time? Today, I'll let you know what rules are." The 6 of them exuded a terrifying aura. However, at this moment, a cold snort was heard. Everyone, stop. Hearing this voice, the 6 people's faces changed. The other people in the valley also took a deep breath. None of them dared to speak. He even lowered his head. Lin Xian turned around and saw 2 figures walking out of the valley. One of them was the man who had brought him here earlier. However, there was a woman standing before him. She was wearing green clothes. His aura was similarly very strong, reaching the level of a late-stage holy venerate. However, when the people inside saw her, it was like a mouse seeing a cat. They were very afraid. Lin Xian was surprised. He guessed that this woman should be a true disciple of the Thousand Mountain Grotto. Her identity was not ordinary. Sure enough, after the woman walked over, she said coldly, "Who allowed you to fight here? Each of the 9 of you will be struck by 1,000,000 lightning bolts." The moment she said that, the expressions of those people changed. The 2 people who were injured by Lin Xian earlier also turned pale. They quickly begged for mercy. "Fairy Qingqing, please spare us. We won't dare to do it again." They were all late-stage holy venerates, and their cultivation was not weaker than the other parties. However, they were battle servants, and the other party was a disciple. The difference was too great. In front of the other party, they had no chance of resisting at all. Fairy Qingqing snorted coldly. Now you know how to be afraid. Why didn't you do it earlier? Get ready to accept it." As he said that, he waved his hand, and a bracelet flew out and enlarged in the sky. Immediately, millions of lightning bolts struck down, enveloping Lin Xian and the others. As for the others, they didn't dare to resist at all. They could only endure it silently. Lin Xian frowned. He waved his hand and sent the lightning bolts flying. Seeing this scene, the people in the valley were stunned. They were about to go crazy. This guy dared to rebel against him? Did he know his current identity? The woman was also stunned. She instantly frowned. "Do you want to die? Who is this person?" The young man next to her was so scared that he broke out in cold sweat. "Fairy, this person is a newcomer who just came in. A newcomer dares to be so arrogant? Is he not under the control of the life and death curse? How is that possible? He has already taken the life and death curse. After taking the life and death curse, he still dares to resist?" She once again struck out millions of lightning bolts at Lin Xian, but they were all sent flying by Lin Xian. Everyone was stunned. Lin Xian said coldly, "Although I took the life and death curse, I only listened to the orders of Elder Shuiyue. You attacked me for no reason, so don't blame me for being impolite." "You..." Qingqing was so angry that her face turned pale. She couldn't help but want to attack. However, at this moment, the young man next to her seemed to have thought of something and said this person was brought here by the sacred ruler of the stars. He said that he was a little special. Perhaps there really was something special about him. Who knows? After Fairy Qingqing heard this, she snorted coldly. "Is that so? Then I'll first find out what's so special about him. If not, I'll make him suffer a fate worse than death." With that, she put away the thunder bracelet and turned to leave. After she left, the people in the valley heaved a sigh of relief. Then they looked at Lin Xian with strange expressions. The 6 people from before didn't dare to attack again. Instead, they respectfully invited Lin Xian in. After all, they were puppets. This was the first person who dared to use this identity to fight against a real disciple and come out unscathed. Therefore, the people in the valley were in awe of Lin Xian. Lin Xian didn't stand on ceremony. He directly chose the best place to cultivate, sat down cross-legged, and began to absorb the power he was cultivating. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. In this month, Lin Xian's cultivation also improved steadily. On this day, the sacred ruler of the stars personally came and descended on the valley. Everyone in the valley became nervous again. Lin Xian raised his head and looked at the other party. A hint of cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. However, it soon disappeared. The sacred ruler of the stars looked at Lin Xian and said, "Kid, come with me. I have a mission for you." Hearing this, Lin Xian rose into the air and flew forward. At the same time, the sacred ruler of the stars found another person. That young man also left. The 2 of them followed the sacred ruler of the stars and walked into the distance. Chapter 44:26. Very soon, they arrived at a place. It was a plaza, and there were already many people gathered there. Some of them were like them, wearing battle armor. They seemed to be puppets. Some of them were wearing Taoist robes and had arrogant looks on their faces. Clearly, these were the true disciples. There were a total of 5 true disciples. As for puppets like Lin Xian, there were 20 of them. They seemed to be there to protect him. Very soon, a young man among the 5 took the lead. They soared into the sky and rode on a huge flying sword, flying into the distance. The purpose of this trip was very simple. These people from the 1,000-mountain paradise were going to participate in an auction. Lin Xian and the others were in charge of protecting them. He discovered that these people were all experts, other than him, who was a middle-stage Saint Venerate. Half of the others were late-stage Saint Venerates. There were even many peak Saint Venerates. Among them, there were actually 2 half-step Saint Kings. This lineup could be said to be extremely powerful. This flying sword was very huge, like a huge dragon. There were actually many palaces on it. At this moment, the 5 disciples were sitting inside, resting. As for Lin Xian and the others, they were standing outside, defending. Lin Xian stood there, silently circulating his laws and cultivating. His only goal now was to break through to the Saint King realm as soon as possible. Or rather, he had to reach the Saint King realm. Only then would he have the ability to protect himself on the buried Emperor's star. "It's you again." At this moment, a voice came from behind him. Following that, a woman walked over. Lin Xian turned his head and saw that it was the woman from before. She was called Fairy Qingqing. Lin Xian saw her and nodded silently. Then he expressionlessly turned his head. Fairy Qingqing clenched her teeth in anger. This guy was too arrogant. Did he really think that she wouldn't dare to attack him? At this moment, a figure walked over and said, "Junior sister, what's going on?" This person was also wearing battle armor. He looked mighty and extraordinary. However, his battle armor was blue, while Lin Xian's puppet's battle armor was black. The armored man was also stunned when he saw Lin Xian. In the next moment, an extremely cold light burst out from his eyes. "It's you?" Man Lin Xian also looked at him and frowned. It was actually him. This person was the one who had followed Jingyun in the true spirit world. Back then, he had forcefully defeated him. Who would have thought that the other party was from the 1,000 Mountain Cave? Was Jingyun from the 1,000 Mountain Grotto Heaven? It seemed that he had to be more careful in the future. "Senior brother Mo, do you know him?" Qing Qing was also surprised. Mo Feng's face turned incomparably ugly. How could she not recognize him? He had fought with the other party before, and had even been injured by the other party. He wanted nothing more than to kill the other party. Of course, he couldn't say anything about this. Otherwise, he would be thoroughly embarrassed in front of his junior sister. Therefore, he said, "When I went to the true spirit world to train, I saw this kid. I didn't expect him to be captured by our paradise. It really surprised me. Brat, see how I'll torture you to death once you fall into my hands." As he said that, he sent a slap toward Lin Xian. The expressions of the surrounding puppets changed. However, Lin Xian snorted coldly and sent out a slap as well. It hit Mo Feng's face and sent him flying. The surrounding puppets were stunned. "Oh my God! This guy dared to attack." The person who came with Lin Xian in the valley was also shocked. Lin Xian was truly a ferocious man. Fairy Qingqing was also stunned. "Oh my God, this guy is too arrogant." However, when did his senior brother become so weak? "Damn brat, you dare to attack me? Kneel down." Mo Feng roared crazily. He couldn't defeat the other party, but now the other party was a puppet, and he was the master. The other party had to submit to him. However, Lin Xian stood there unmoved. His eyes were emitting a cold light. Damn it, what's going on? Wasn't he under the life and death curse? Mo Feng was also stunned. The noise here alarmed the people inside. Soon, 3 figures walked out. The leader was a very handsome man. He frowned and said, "What's going on?" "Senior brother Qi, this brat dared to attack me." Fairy Qingqing said it out loud. The man frowned and looked at Mo Feng. His expression changed. "You were injured by him?" Mo Feng's expression changed. It was too embarrassing. He gritted his teeth and said, "I was careless. I didn't expect him to dare to fight back." Senior brother Qi nodded and looked at Lin Xian. "A puppet actually dared to attack us. Don't you know that we are your masters? You have to submit to us if we ask you to." Lin Xian stood there and said coldly, "I only submit to Elder Shuiyu. Moreover, I received orders from him to protect your safety." However, this doesn't mean that I can be suppressed by you at will. Previously, this person attacked me for no reason and even wanted to torture me. I naturally won't let him have his way." When these words came out, these people all frowned. It was the first time they saw such an arrogant battle servant. Lin Xian said coldly, "If you don't agree or are dissatisfied with the orders I received, go to Elder Shui Yu. Then let's go find Elder Shui Wei and see what she has to say." Hearing the name Elder Shui Yu, these people's expressions changed, and their scalps went numb. They didn't dare to provoke such an existence. Lin Xian sneered in his heart. His guess was right. This Elder Shui Yu was an extremely powerful figure in the Thousand Mountain Cave. No one would dare to provoke him. Fairy Ching Ching also said, "Senior brother, this brat is very strange. It is said that he was brought here by the Star Sage King alone. He seems to be a top genius. Perhaps he really received these orders." Senior brother Chi nodded. "A top genius? All right, I will let bygones be bygones for now. However, you'd better not act recklessly. Otherwise, I don't mind killing you." At the end of his words, an extremely terrifying killing intent bloomed in his eyes. Lin Xian was completely fine with this. If these people didn't attack him, he couldn't be bothered. If these people wanted to attack him again, he didn't mind teaching them a lesson. The surrounding battle servants were also surprised. They didn't expect Lin Xian to be so bold. Following that, it became very quiet. The huge flying sword flew all the way and finally landed in a city. This was a huge city. It was very wide, and one couldn't see the end of it at a glance. It was like an immemorial beast. After landing inside, Lin Xian and the others felt that there were many experts in this city. There were even the auras of sage kings. In addition, there were many young geniuses. There were also powerful warriors. Obviously, this should be the place of the auction. The 5 people in front walked on their own. The man in the lead was called Senior Brother Chi. In addition to him, there were 2 men and 2 women. Senior Brother Chi said, "The things we want, perhaps people from other grotto heavens will also sell. However, no matter who fights with us, we must get it." You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.